Okay.
Uh, 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 uh. Why are you not live? Am I am I live? Hold on. I'm confused by this thing.
I'm not sure. Let me go see your.
Oh, I am live. Oh yeah, I'm hearing myself now. Okay. Sorry guys, I screwed up. My fault. Don't hate me. All right. So, uh Oliver, can you give a shout and see if they can hear
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I'm gonna update. Hey, you guys hear me? I'm gonna update the announcement on the Discord right now with the new link.
Yep. Okay, Cheesy says yep. So you can hear both of us, Cheesy? Yep. Okay, it's almost real time. So, or low latency. Okay, let's get this started again. So welcome back. I am here with the developer of I always forget the name. Archean. Arc one of those two. What would you say?
Archean.
Archeon. I didn't say that one. Archeon. It's like when I say Thales' name. It's either Thales, Thales, Thales. They've got multiple names. So I guess we should start off kind of talking about what the game is currently and how it's accessible to kind of a group of people that have RTX cards. So, what is the timeline do you think before you can open up the game to more users from an RTX card and pass that?
That is up to AMD because I mean we're not gonna support GTX graphics card because they will never do hardware ray tracing. But we are supposed to be supporting AMD. We're doing everything by the spec, but they have issues with their drivers that prevent it from working. It kind of works on Linux with the RADV driver with the AMD graphics cards, but yeah, it's you need to make some modifications to it, and it will work with the RADV driver, but it doesn't work on Windows
Okay, so
yet.
you're not going to
So
go
yeah,
below RTX though, right? It's going to require a card that can do ray tracing.
yes, it's going to require a GPU that does ray tracing.
Okay, so that's not going to change. So that's going to be
That's
the
not going to
minimum
change.
specs. Does it run on a 1080? I don't. Does RTX have 1080s? Or
No, it does not.
it,
So you require an RTX, any RTX GPU. So that starts with the 20 series.
wow. Okay, so I got lucky. I actually have a 20. Okay, so guys,
Yeah.
that is kind of the admission price to the game. Is you do have to have an RTX card, and I don't know what the AMD cards are or those names or whatever.
Yeah, so AMD's the 6000 and 7000, they technically can do hardware ray tracing, but there are driver issues right now.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, that is kind of the requirement for this game because this game is trying to do something different. It's trying to look really pretty, and it's also using ray tracing features so that you can do other things. Why did you use ray tracing? What is the advantage of using ray tracing?
So, okay, so the ray tracing is not just eye candy. It's not just like an effect that you add on top, like other games use it. Like, this is just how other games use it. But ultimately, ray tracing is meant to be a completely different way of rendering games. There's a lot of benefits to it. Like, it's a lot more dynamic, and you don't have to hack your way into like making shadow maps like you would in a normal rasterized game. and you don't have to have artists to bake some lighting into objects, or have some ambient setting that changed based on the scenery, things like that. You don't have to do any of that. It's just completely fully dynamic, so you can have changing scenes. You can have user created contents. They just do whatever they want, and the lighting will just work. And you can also, in this case, modify the solar system. Let's say you want to add a second sun, and it will just work. So things like that. This is meant to be very dynamic, very moddable, and the only way to achieve that, also because it's full scale, is with ray tracing. So trying to tweak shadow maps with rasterization would not have worked out. Same for the global illumination for ambient lighting and skybox, things like that. There is no skybox in this game. It's all real time. The atmosphere is rendered in real time based on its composition and temperature and gravity, things like that. And the colors of the atmosphere will be correct.
I'm trying to see my face in your butt. I apologize. I just want to see if I reflected. So you can see yourself, right? Yeah, I'm inside your helmet.
Yeah, you can see everything. So maybe we could build. Let's build something real quick, and let's just paint it chrome. Okay. Let's do this chrome like this.
Okay.
Now, if we go in between, we got like some kind of infinite reflection going on.
Look at that. By the way, I am running in a lower setting, so if you see any kind of
yeah,
go ahead if you want.
In lower setting, you're gonna like the reflection is gonna be limited to 5 bounces.
Yeah. So I can hit
you can
F1
see, like, you have
and I can
dark.
let me get over there and change it so you can see it. It will hurt my graphic. Right now I'm running at 50 frames per second. So if I
in 4K, you have to mention that.
Oh, I am in 4K. Yeah. I am in 4K.
Yeah. It makes a big difference with frame rate.
Let's see. If I do... Oops, that's not the right setting. This one. Medium, I think? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So you saw the lighting change when I changed my settings, and now you can see the bounce go all the way back. All the way back there. What am I running in right now? I'm running at 30 frames per second now in medium settings in 4K. I should note that. So, by the way, if you guys have questions, please let me know in the comments. I will ask the questions. So I'm coming from Stormworks, so I kind of wanted to not compare the games, but kind of give people an idea who like Stormworks why they might be interested in this game. And so the big thing is probably building, right? Like, that's what a lot of us do in Stormworks. We build. I don't know if we play so much, but we do build a lot. We've got Joff Reddy here a while ago, and he's a big builder. And so I've been playing the game for the past couple days, trying to get an idea like how the building is different. And we talked about this last night, right? Oliver?
Yeah.
And so I kind of did feature requests, guys, and he's still talking to me. Like, the dev didn't get mad at me for asking for features. So that was kind of interesting. So big things that we were talking about is the mirror tool, right?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the mirror tool? Right now we don't have a mirror tool in this game. What are your thoughts on it?
So this game is meant to be immersive. It's not like you're not building in any kind of editor, and we want to keep it this way, right? So you're building live while playing, and you can build with your friends. Like, you can be multiple people building the same thing and helping each other out. Like on the same build. It will all work perfectly, but there's no mirror tool to keep it immersive. But we had an idea. Endo actually had an idea with like to keep the immersion going while still having a mirror tool, and so that I mean, it can be possible, but we will have some limitations as to what can be mirrored, because we have a little bit more flexibilities in some ways than other games, and it was not planned from the beginning to have ability to mirror. So it will be easy to do it with just the blocks, but if we want to do it with frames, also these are the beams there, so the big 3 meter cubes with the beams that we can just add like that. If we want to mirror that as well, then the limitation is that you're gonna have to be placing that mirror at the center or at a corner of these frames, right? But if you don't want to mirror the beams, then I guess you could put it anywhere and you can mirror the blocks. But for the components, that's another story. Components are not symmetrical; they're not meant to be, and they're not meant to be mirrored. And their connections could be a problem as well, because in this game you have to connect all the cables. So if we were to use like basically if we want to mirror components by simply rotating them, say 180 degrees, then the connectors on these components will be facing some other direction. So you cannot just simply mirror it, because the cable, when you're going to pass the cable, it's not going to be at the same spot, so you can't mirror the cables either. So yeah, you have like there's a few issues to think about if we implement a mirroring in the game.
So basically, although he gave you all the technical reasons about the mirroring, he kind of said that in short, he's thinking about it. So we could get a mirroring tool sometime in the future, right?
Yeah, it is possible.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to hear. Because coming from Stormworks, the mirroring tool is really important. I was trying to tell him that last night, because when you're building in Stormworks, a lot of us are builders of realistic stuff, and then we've got the larger builders that like to build large boats and stuff like that. And the appeal of this game is that it can handle large builds, and the frame rate, although I'm getting frame rate hit right now because I got all the eye candy on, the frame rate doesn't get hit, and it doesn't get hit during multiplayer. I was on a server earlier today, and they had like several buildings and stuff, and I was just walking around, and there was no moon gravity like we get in Stormworks, and I was able to actually get into a doom buggy and ride around the land with a guy, and we'll check that out in a bit. But I just want to make a note: if you're coming from Stormworks, this game is missing a few things that you're used to, but there's a lot of benefits in building in this game where the limitations have been removed. So we don't have a build size limitation. We don't have, I almost think we don't have a vehicle number limitation, right? Like in a server, like how many vehicles can you spawn?
As far as I know, we've never, on a live server, we've never hit a limit in that like it becomes so slow that it's unusable. And on my personal server, I think I have maybe, I may have at least like 40 or 50 builds on it, and that server is a small i5 computer, and it actually is hosting 2 servers at the same time.
Oh, okay. Wow. What are we on right now? Just your home?
Right now we're on my personal computer, so I basically just launched a solo game that I enabled multiplayer on in the server settings, and this will list it as a server. My ports are mapped in my router, of course, and then just like people can just join. But it's basically the game that I'm running from Steam.
Okay, and I'm on the West Coast, and you're on the East Coast of the United States, right?
Yeah, and I'm in Canada.
Oh, you're in Canada. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have like some kind of screen that shows like my ping or anything like that?
I mean, I don't see your ping, but if you log out, then you'll see my ping.
Oh, if I log out, okay. Well, we won't do that then. But okay. So we got some questions. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Do Venus and Mars have plants and stuff? Okay. Are there any other planets?
Do Venus?
Yeah.
So right now we only have the Earth and the Moon, and they're full size. And actually, I guess we also have the Sun. It's quite far though. I mean, it's realistic distances.
Is that actual?
The Moon, however, is a lot closer.
Is the Sun actually a body?
The Moon is a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can actually reach it.
Oh, okay. That's crazy.
So yeah, it's all full size, and the moon is a bit closer than in real life. It's actually a lot closer, and it's geosynchronous. So if you look at the moon right now, it's basically what you see if you just get there. That's the actual body of the moon. Uh, there's no loading screen in this game ever. You just go wherever you want. If you like what you see, like you see that the moon's terrain, that's what you'll be landing on
Okay, here's a
precisely.
question. While I'm looking at the moon right now, am I looking at a flat plane or am I looking at a physical body?
You're looking at a spherical terrain. That's what I'm trying to say. It's really that is the moon that you're going to be landing on in its full
Oh,
size.
so it doesn't get swapped out as I get closer.
No, there is no loading screen. There's no like change of
All
scenery
right,
of
all right,
any
all right. I
kind.
got one. I got one for you. If I had some guy build a giant base on the moon, would I be able to see it?
That depends.
Okay.
But the limitation, like for seeing things, is 100,000 times the radius of that build.
Okay.
So basically, it will be smaller than a pixel on your screen, anyways, at that point. So yeah, I mean, you can see things from very long distances.
Okay. And I
So basically, an object of 1 meter across, you'll see it from 100 kilometers away if you can like zoom in. It will still be smaller than a pixel, anyways. So yeah, you can see things.
I also saw you do a demo on another live stream where you put a spotlight and it hit the moon, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about lighting in the game? Like try not to get too technical, but like what are the limitations or what can you do with lighting in this game?
So the lighting, so of course, if you have a lot of lights, it can get more intensive on the GPU because it will trace more rays. So that can affect performance if you have a lot of lights. But if you just like have a vehicle there and you put like two lights, two headlights, it's not gonna be any problem. But if you're starting to make like 12 lights here and 12 lights there in different houses, and there's lights everywhere, then you're gonna start getting a hit out of that if you're near these lights.
Okay. So what do you think's the average lights like 10 maybe? Or you couldn't guess?
The average lights, what do you mean?
Like
Sorry?
like in this area if I had how many lights before my computer would have trouble with a couple.
It depends on a lot of things too. If what you're seeing is facing towards the light or not, um, and it depends on your distance with the light.
Okay.
I mean, the distance. It's all about like what you see. With ray tracing, only what you see is has an impact.
And,
If you're not looking at it, it's basically free.
and do you have lights? So in Stormworks we have like the spotlights which like beam out, farther. And then we have like a kind of like an ambient light. Do we have like an ambient light in this game so it's like not sending light out too far?
We don't, but it could be something that we could add, I guess.
I mean, that
Yeah,
would
I
help
mean,
with performance, right?
we have yeah, we had that before. We had a global illumination system with some kind of lamp that you just put there. It doesn't actually cast the real shadow. It actually adds an ambient that will actually propagate throughout the objects. But it was not perfect. We removed it because we thought it was good enough like this. But we could add it back at some point if we can improve it, make it better. I have a few ideas for that. So
Okay.
that is a possibility, yes.
Okay, so this is kind of a UFO. Can you kind of like take us on a trip around the planet a bit here?
Yeah, sure. Just have to plug it. So
Uh,
this is a UFO. This is not typically the thing that you would build, but it is. There's something called a magic cube that's hooked to it. Um, so this way we can just do pretty much anything we want. So I'm just gonna turn on that. So basically, I put a gyro and a magic cube. It's like an admin tool, really. That magic cube.
the magic
And
cube.
I'm just gonna turn on the gyro here. Plug in a switch for that.
Okay.
And when I sit on the seat, it's gonna turn it on.
Oh, I hear it powering
So
up.
yeah, I'm just gonna actually forgot. I need to plug that nav instrument as well if we want to have some. Do that. I'm just gonna add a battery
Okay, I'm gonna try to look for some more
as we
questions
wait.
here. Will there be a price increase?
Possibly, but maybe it's not gonna happen for another few months. Depends if like it depends on the demand, but we're not planning on increasing it that much anyway. Maybe just like $5 at some points as the game gets better. But right now, I think this is a good price for the current state of the game.
Okay, let's see here. Why is it set 3 billion years into the past?
So there's a few reasons for that. Um, One of the reasons is ease of development, of course. This game is so ambitious that if we didn't make that decision, the game would have never came out. You know, like if we also had to explain like why, like if there's no grass yet or if there's no life and things like that. I mean, so we have to add the grass, the life, all the like the buildings. We have to make the terrain exactly the same as in real life, or we have to just go on like a completely alien planet. But we wanted it to stay familiar to players. Basically, like this is like our solar system, so it could be familiar to players, but at the same time, it's different. Like it's a bit alien because it's 3 billion years ago. The continents were completely different, and also it makes the moon a lot closer. Um, and the days shorter as well because Earth was rotating faster. So this helps with it helps people be able to like see the moon over there, always on top of us because it's geosynchronous, and it's also a lot closer, making it quicker to get there. Because this game it has realistic space mechanics in science. It has realistic orbital mechanics. So. So if you want to actually reach the moon, you can't just like time warp. There is no time warp like you would find in Kerbal Space Program, for example,
Okay.
because it's fully multiplayer. So you can't just like change the rate of time and just for you and not affect the other players who who don't want to change the rate of time and move the planets around. They don't want to so you can't just have different time frame between players. So since it's meant to be multiplayer, I mean, of course, you can play solo as well, but it's designed to be fully multiplayer. So we're not gonna do any kind of time frame. Time warp. So if you want to travel to the moon, it must not take too long. Basically, right now it's doable within an hour.
An
If
hour
you
to get to the
build
moon?
Yes.
Flight time is an hour?
Yes, like from taking off to landing on the moon, it is doable in 1 hour.
Okay. Wait.
If that is only if you designed a rocket very well, but that's the idea. That's the gameplay, right?
Okay, so have you programmed like a video game of like cards or poker or chess so we can play it on the spaceship while we wait to get to the moon?
Oh, I mean, right now this UFO can go a lot faster than that.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so the UFO lets you like bend physics, right? So I don't need any kind of propulsion, and I can even go through the terrain if I wanted to, by enabling some option on it. But basically, I can also like disable air resistance and gravity and stuff. No, I just let go and I just fall.
All right. So
But
so can
I
you
can control it like a UFO,
can you
and I
take
can,
us over the
yeah.
surface of
Sorry.
this planet like and like see where the planet looks like as we go along? Like the mountains, like just go forward and just keep flying.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's up. That's
Oh,
up. I'm at a crossed.
yeah. This is yeah. Gonna disable air resistance there. It'll be easier. Okay, there it is.
Okay, there we go. So it flattens out over there. Are there more mountains that we can't see farther out, or is it all just kind of flat land past
Oh
here?
yeah. There's a few more
Oh, I can't
things.
hear you.
I
It's so
mean,
loud. You have to stop when you talk.
oh,
There you
okay.
go. So what were you
Sorry.
saying?
Um, oh yeah. I mean, there's a volcano over there,
Does it erupt?
and no, I mean there's some lava in it, but there's no gameplay aspect yet about the specific about the volcano.
Oh, okay.
It's just there.
We have a question about terrain deformation.
Not yet.
Okay, you said yet. What does that mean when you say yet?
That means it is possible in the future that we add that, but we're not sure if we want to bring the gameplay on that aspect yet, or if we want to do that at all. But it is likely that we may add that in the future.
Okay, so there you go. Sarge ask. Oh, what's that wind sound? Oh, we're going up.
Yeah.
Okay, pause for a minute so I can ask you a question. Okay, Sarge is asking.
So you can also lower the volume if you don't
That's
want
true. I
to.
could do
Like
that.
you can yeah,
Let's
you can do that in the with
let's
F1. You
let's
can lower the game's volume.
yeah, let's do that. Sorry. All right, I'll lower that down. And okay, so Sarge is asking where to go. Is there a way to collect resources like minerals and mining and refining processes for
Yes,
fuel
all
and
that.
parts?
It's in there with the adventure mode.
Okay, so right now we're in creative mode, right? We just like do whatever we want.
Yes, we're in creative. We can just build whatever we want. And also, in addition to creative, we're also using a UFO, so we can bend physics a bit with
Yeah,
that,
we got
thing.
the
It's
cheat
just,
mode
just to explore.
activated here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really a cheat.
so adventure mode, I was playing on a server that's going on right now. DGAF, I think is the server. Maybe. And yeah, you go around and you collect the rocks. And what's interesting about the rocks, I didn't realize this, but every rock you see is collectible. They're not just like visual effects. Where are we going? We're going up? Oh, we're going up. So look at that. So we're going to see the whole planet in a second here. Let's see. Is there a universal speed limit? Sarge is asking.
Nope, there isn't any universal speed limit. We're planning on making the speed of light the speed limit, but right now there's no such thing as a speed limit. So you can actually go actual full orbital speed and dock with your friend's ship, and there's no problem with that. It works multiplayer, full speed, and physics is happy with that.
Yeah, and again, I'm running on a 4K resolution right now with some upscaling to help with the frame rate, I think. Oh no, I turned off the upscaling actually. Or whatever, not the upscaling. What's it called? Yeah, upscaling, right?
Yeah. So what's your frame rate right now?
Right now I am at 70.
Okay.
And we're at medium settings. I'm at medium settings. Look at that. So is this world spinning?
Yes, I mean the Earth is rotating, and it's what's making the days and nights, right? So like
Okay.
the Earth is actually rotating.
I saw this last night when I was messing around with the jet. I got to space with a jet. I don't know if it ran out of fuel or it just stopped working once it got into the space. But what is that?
No, it just ran out of fuel.
What is that little white line or little white dot over there by the volcano? Is that a reflection?
It's the sun's reflection.
The sun's
It's the
reflection.
sun's reflection.
Ah,
You
okay.
look up. See, it's the sun. So the moon will actually also reflect on the ocean.
Okay, let's look for some more
Maybe we
questions
can even
here.
see that.
Okay, here's the one that you know you're going to get. It always comes in with these kind of games. Will there be weapons?
It's in the plans. This game will never be focused on PvP, but it's in the plans to add a PvP mode.
You know, let's talk about that since you said that. What is the focus of the game?
So the focus of the game is engineering and mostly cooperative, right? It's the multiplayer system is very powerful, and I think we need to put an emphasis on that because we've got very great comments on the performance of the multiplayer of this game, and it seems to be a recurring theme that people like they go crazy about how the multiplayer performs so well. So I think that's important to put to let people know about that. If they enjoy multiplayer games, this is a great one. And so it is focused on engineering,
Okay.
and so yeah, with realistic physics.
Okay. So Cole is asking, what program language will mods use? Yeah, that's
The mods will be able to use Xenon code. It's a custom programming language that we've made in the game, and people really enjoy that language so far. They prefer it over Lua, and because it's very simple to learn. It's been designed specifically for this game, but made open source for other games to implement. Um, and some modders will also be able to go a bit deeper with pure C++.
C++. Okay. And what are they able to mod? When you say modding, what is supported?
Uh, Pretty much anything in the long run. Um, Anything you'd want. We want to literally make an SDK for modders to use.
Okay, so what can I do now currently if I knew how to do anything? What would I be able to do?
The easiest thing to do right now in the current state that just works is the modding the planets. You can add planets to the solar system. You can add suns. You can add moons. You can modify their properties and do weird things. So one of the players added two suns and changed the gravity on the planet, and like it was just beautiful. Like the atmospheric scattering was beautiful with the two suns and the different gravity, different you can just play around with things like that, and that is a server side setting. And when you change that on the server side, it will actually propagate to all the clients connected to your server instantly, so they will also be able to see that. And basically people can mod a server with different planets, and it will just work.
And
Like
and you can
players can
do
just join these servers.
what kind of properties can you change on the planets, like gravity and atmosphere, or what?
Yeah, you don't play with gravity directly. You just change the mass of the planet, and that in turn affects its gravity.
Oh,
You can also you can change the where the sea level is. You can change the terrain composition, the atmospheric composition, the temperature, and I mean, what else? The orbits, all right? Like the distances of the orbits between everything. The spin rate, like how fast the Earth is spinning, so that will affect the how long the days are. So you can very easily do that in the
oh,
current state
okay.
and host a server with like a custom solar system.
Because right now the default uh time for the Earth from day to night is what, like a full 24-hour cycle, or what?
No, actually, in like 3 billion years ago, in the Archean Eon, um, the Earth was spinning faster than it is right now, so the days were shorter. So in the game, we've made it 12 hours total, so it's like half. So basically, the Earth is spinning twice as fast. So you're getting right now in the game, you're getting 6 hours of daytime and 6 hours of nighttime, and you're getting a few eclipses here and there as well.
Oh, okay. Cheesy has a question. I guess this is more related to propulsion. So he's talking about, can you jump across large distances like a jump drive? But what are your propulsion options right now for getting around?
So right now you can drive around with wheeled vehicles, like with just wheels. There's like a wheel that like with an integrated motor and suspension and brakes and steer, and so you can have rovers. You can also have propellers that can be used both in the underwater and in the air, and you can configure it for that purpose. Basically, if you make it very small, it will work great for a boat propeller. If you make it larger, and it will work better for the air. So you can make drones, quadcopters, or helicopters, airplanes, boats, submarines, in the with these props. You can also have thruster. We have two different types of thrusters, like a small one and a big one. They have different power ratings, and you have to use fuel and oxidizer to make them work, and you have to use turbo pumps and connect all these together and use the correct mixture of fuel and oxygen to have a better performance, right? And then you can put as many as you want on your rocket, and also the nozzle will gimbal. You can control that with your computer. You can make it automated. So basically, you can make some kind of autopilot with your in-game computers. Which actually, this is another emphasis on the game that I'd like to do. This game has very good in-game programming, and we're trying to be like the very best game that offers in-game programming. Um, so you can do extensive things with that with the in-game computers. You can have screens everywhere and that you can draw. You can do pixel art on your screen. You can draw triangles, rectangles, circles, all kinds of data. You can just do that on your in-game computers, and you can make the screens very large and very dense in pixel if you want to.
So,
So it gives a lot of flexibility.
so in Stormworks, monitors are pretty impactful on the frame rate if you have too many monitors. Do you have a trouble with that?
Yeah.
With the current game?
No. No. There's so far there's no trouble with that at all.
So you can have multiple monitors without a frame drop?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, everyone is using monitors everywhere. Like the servers that you connected to, they have a lot of builds. There's monitors all over the place, and it's like there's no problem at all.
Okay, what about, going back to mods for a second, what about modding like new blocks or engines? Is that possible currently?
It is doable, yes, but a modder will have a hard time understanding what they need to do exactly to make that work because we haven't documented any of that yet. But the
Okay.
entire engine is modular, so it's made to be easily moddable.
Okay. So
Like you don't need to compile the entire game to add a new module.
okay, so currently the thrusters are the maximum. Let me rephrase that. So thrusters are the only thing you can use to get to current maximum speed to get to the planet. There's no light jump, or what do you call it? Light speed or any.
Yeah, yeah. So well, kind of. I mean, you have the magic cube that we're using right now. This is more like a cheat tool,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can go pretty much any speed with that if you want. Like we could reach the sun in a few minutes if we wanted to. But other than that, yeah, the thruster would be what you'd use. But you can also teleport with the magic cube or the reset functionality on the owner pad. So if you're like doing a lot of iterations on your spacecraft,
Mm-hmm.
you can save and reset the state, which is an option that we will disable for the upcoming survival mode. But the save reset actually works with creative and adventure mode, so that if you're building something and you get stuck somewhere, or you get lost in space, you want to start over, you just hit reset on it, and it just teleports back on like where you saved it instantly. Which I'm going to demonstrate right now. The game's capability to just teleport. So I'm just
Okay.
going to press a key right now, and then that's it. We're just back to where we started.
Okay. And did you guys notice that when it loaded, we didn't see that plane start to build itself. It instantly loaded. The rocks appeared on the ground.
Everything instantly loads.
And that happens even if you have like 50 vehicles sitting out here, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't see, like, in a
I
lot
mean,
of.
maybe it is. Yeah, it is possible that it takes maybe like half of a second for everything to build. Like in like very like in cases where like there's a lot of stuff and you have like a slow internet connection, it is possible that it takes half of a second. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's really mostly going to be instantaneous.
But in a lot of games, you see like the objects start building for a few seconds as they load in, right? Like piece by piece. So
Yeah.
I haven't seen that so far. Let's see here. I think there's some more questions here. Are there any? So I'm kind of jumping around, so I might have missed some people here. So are there any plans to have procedurally generated planets? Well, I can't say that. Procedurally generated planets.
This is already procedurally generated.
Okay. what about the other planets? Can they like be like randomized on a game load or something like that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
On a game, I mean, you can set a scene,
On a game creation.
seed.
Yeah, yeah,
So that
seed.
that moon, if you look at the moon right there, if you just want to add more moons, you
Yeah.
can just copy paste that moon and then change the seed, and it will be a little bit different. You can
Okay.
do the same
So
with
you do have
Earth,
seeds. Okay, okay.
but Earth, yeah, yeah, but Earth is a bit different. Of course, you can change the seed, but it's always going to have a volcano over there, approximately over there,
Okay.
because that's been literally hard coded into the algorithm to generate Earth. There is a volcano over there, right? But otherwise, other than that, you could still change the seed and it will be completely different.
Okay. I'm looking for more questions. Does the fuel have mass in fuel tanks? Let's see. Does
Yes, the fuel will have a realistic mass in fuel tanks, and it will go down as you consume it, and it can change the balance of your vehicle because it will change where the center of mass is if you didn't calculate it properly, right? So you have to take that into account where when you build a rocket, there's a user who goes quite far with these things right now. Like he can actually he's controlling where the center of mass is by pumping fuel from one tank to the other as they get emptied to keep the center of mass at like where he wants it. So like, he makes like huge rockets right now in the game. It's actually
oh,
quite
you know what?
nice.
Okay, speaking of center of gravity, is there a way to see the center of gravity of your build?
Yeah, yeah, you can hit V while aiming at the vehicle. You'll see it.
Oh, okay. I see.
You can also see its mass. You can also actually read the information of where the center of mass is using a component. So if you place a component on your vehicle, and it will like you can connect that on your computer like on the vehicle. If you put a computer on the vehicle and you connect that to it, you can take this information of the center of mass to do different computations. Say like you want to build some kind of advanced autopilot system that takes these things into account, you can do that. And it will basically tell you where the center of mass is in relation to that object, that component. So everything in the game is relative. There's no absolute. So there's no specific like orientation for things. Like you could build things in any orientation and it just works. Besides there's just one functionality that still has an absolute up. It's just for the flip. So if you hit V when an object is upside down, like if your vehicle goes upside down, you
Yeah.
want to flip it back, you have an option to do that, to reset the orientation. And this is the only part that considers the up, but the entire physics engine doesn't care. But we'll just change that to make it more flexible. You can just determine like what is your up to do the reset orientation, and it
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter really.
And that does that work now? You said if I hit V on an upside down vehicle, it works now.
Yeah, it works now,
Oh, okay.
but the vehicle needs to actually be upside down for it to suggest it.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do it with the magic cube here. Might as well do that. If I can actually go upside down. Here. So now you should be able to do it.
Okay, hit V. Oh, reset orientation. Oh, okay. That would have been useful the other day. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of hidden features in the game.
All right. So someone was asking about the inventory. So here's the inventory. And he just added a search box last night or the day before, actually. So that's brand new. So you can find what you're looking for. And it has one seat, it has sliders, it has a couple wheels, it looks like, aileron for flying, and then you've got lots of parts that are for like data bridges and power converters and stuff like that. And we've got sensors, we've got tilt sensors, altitude sensors, kind of like Stormworks where you got your sensors. We have a lamp light, a spotlight. We have ground anchors so you can like lock things down to the ground. Docking ports, is that for spaceships? I guess, I assume.
It's for anything you want, really.
Okay.
There's no like the game doesn't force you into doing anything specifically. Like there's no
Okay.
difference when you build something. There's no difference in like what you want it to be. Like it doesn't matter. You start building something, it might as well be a house, but then you add a thruster to it, then I mean, I guess it will be a rocket.
Okay.
Right?
What is this for?
So
What is this for? I can't. Wait.
so that's the speaker.
Wait. No. I have a trash can, but I can't seem to
Oh,
put it.
okay.
Oh, there we go.
There's like a 3 second delay with the stream there.
Oh,
Okay, so the trash can, yeah.
yeah.
So you can basically throw things out. If you don't want things in your inventory, you can just throw them in there and then disappear forever.
Okay. And then what is this?
That's a container. So that's yeah. So you can store items in there from an inventory. It has its own inventory,
Oh, that's for like
and you
adventure
can
mode.
build automated. Yeah, I mean, yeah, these are basically useless in creative mode.
Okay.
You could use it for decoration, but I mean, they work. It's just that there's no reason to use them because you have everything
Okay.
unlimited.
And then we have the buzzer.
So
Is that
yeah, in adventure,
have what does it have multiple
um,
sounds on it or something? What does it do?
yeah. So the buzzer, you can basically play music if you wanted to.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah. So you can configure it if you wanted to play different tones, and then from the computer you send it data to
Okay.
say play that frequency, that amplitude, and then you can vary that over time. So you can program music if you wanted to, and if so yeah, so you can select 4 different tones there. It's like you have a sine wave, square wave, triangle wave, and seesaw. And so if you want all of these together, you just put multiple of these speakers. You configure each of them, and then you can make complex music out of the computer.
Okay. Here's another question: is it possible to make hot air balloons?
Yeah, it will be possible with the like it's in the plans, but right now the physics engine actually handles it already. It handles buoyancy the same way, whether it's in the atmosphere or underwater. There's no difference from the point of view of the physics engine, whether you're underwater or in the air or in space. There's really no difference. It's just the physics engine will sample a like different positions and like to the environment function, and the environment function will call into the planet module and ask like, okay, what's the density, the viscosity, the temperature, relative speed of that medium that you're in, like if you have a water current or air, wind, like things like that. So the physics engine will just sample different positions like that and be able to compute based on that. So if you were to modify the planet, like the atmosphere, to make it a lot denser, then your builds will just start going upwards. And when we're going to add the pressurization system, then you can decide to, say, fill a volume with hydrogen to make it very light, or literally just empty the content of that volume, right? And it will start going upwards. And the temperature of the contents will also affect the density of the air. So if you increase the heat into some volume, then it will technically become lighter.
Oh, does the whole
I
planet
mean,
have the same temperature right now?
Right now, yes, I think it's 50 degrees. Yeah, I think that's what I set it to. It's 50 degrees Celsius. So it's quite hot. That's what it was in the Archean Eon approximately. So it's a hot planet,
Okay.
and yeah.
All right. A scripting question. Will there be a VS Code extension that adds IntelliSense support for Xenocode? I'm aware there's syntax.
It is already present. It already
Uh,
exists. If you just look into the VS Code extensions, it's there. You just write Xenon code and you can download it and install that extension. And there is a linter, like for the linter to work, you have to download the executable and just in the extension configuration, you set the path to that executable, and that's it. You're good to go.
Okay. Well, there you go. Oh, somebody already answered that question too. Let's see. Thales says, what will players do in the survival mode in the future?
So survival is going to be, I mean, it's about survival, but it's going to be hardcore. It's like the hardcore mode. Basically, you have to make sure your avatar does not die. But it's not gonna be hardcore like die or survive. It's gonna be more like more difficult to get everything right. But it's not gonna be like Minecraft where you have to eat and you have to like it's not gonna be that hardcore. The avatar is only going to be caring about oxygen basically. So you have an oxygen supply that you have to make sure that you keep replenishing. And other than that, it will be things like pressure. Like if you go underwater, at some point you're gonna have too much pressure, right? So you're gonna have to build a submarine to be able to go underwater at this a specific depth.
Now, what is
Also, heat could be issues.
what is
Mhm.
the max depth you have currently?
Oh, you can go kilometers down. Maybe I think like the deepest part of the ocean could be maybe like 8 kilometers deep.
Okay, and right now it's not doing pressure because that's an upcoming update, right?
Yeah, the upcoming there's an update for upcoming for the pressurization system, and the survival mode will come soon after, with uh, basically the avatar in this in survival mode the avatar will not be able to go that deep, maybe like a few hundred meters, and then it will start getting too much. It'll just be too much pressure, and you might die. So you're gonna have to build a submarine,
Okay,
which you can actually build right now in the game, but they don't have there's no water culling yet, but it is in the plans. It's the next feature.
okay. Here's a question for you. Otto says, I noticed on the website it claims that the game will focus on realistic mechanics of gameplay. Can you expand on all of that, or can you expand on that at all?
Yeah, so the physics engine is very realistic. We are simulating buoyancy, aerodynamics, and real space physics, orbital mechanics. All of that is simulated. For instance, the propeller here, we actually simulate the airflow going through it and affecting its thrust. We simulate the induced torque. We simulate gyroscopic precession, and we also simulate a ground effect.
So, okay, if you're doing ground effect, that means you can make one of those thingamabobs. What are those things? Uh, what are those planes, guys, that go on the water? Forgot the name of them. The
Yeah,
Russians. The Russians had
yeah,
them.
you can make that. The ground, yeah, so the ground effect will also apply for water, so it will actually float above water.
Chronoplanes. A chronoplane. That's what it was called. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. What
There's
else?
just found something there.
Let's see. Are there remote controls, antenna, or communication interfaces?
Yeah, yeah, there is.
There is.
You can do that right now. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna demonstrate right now. Why not?
Okay.
Um, let's see, where is it? Go to my blueprints. Um,
You have a lot of blueprints, I
where
guess.
is it?
Yes, so.
Hmm?
So, do you have a lot of blueprints?
Sorry.
You have a lot of
Oh yeah,
blueprints.
I have a lot of these blueprints locally.
Oh, by the way, guys,
Have to to look up.
Workshop is already available. You can upload your creations, and there's like only a page of creations right now. So if you ever want to be at the top of a workshop, now's your chance because there's not very many going on right now. Okay, we got a little dude right here.
Yeah. So and then there's the control station right here. Okay. So this is the remote controlled vehicle, and this is the station. So if you just go on it and you can control it like that.
Oh, there you go. So so right now you're kind of your wheel engines and your even your prop engines are all integrated into the prop or the wheel. Is there plans to make separate engines, or are you just going to keep it kind
Yes.
of simple? What are you going to do?
That is the next like after the pressurization and survival,
Uh huh.
the next big feature is going to be advanced mechanical systems. So you're going to be able to make separate engines and gearboxes and things like that. We're not directly planning the combustion engines yet. We might change our minds, But because the thing is that this planet right now in this Archean Eon, there's no oxygen in the atmosphere, so you can't just use that oxygen. But the good thing is modders will have full capability of doing that. But we might decide to do it anyway.
I
I
was
don't know.
trying
I
last
mean,
night to get
I
you
mean,
to use like
sorry.
time. Remember last night I was trying to get you to use like a time machine so you could like move the planet into the future slightly. You
I
know?
mean, time machine would not be realistic,
Oh come on!
but there is another. There, there is another option. There's 3 billion years ago, Mars. Like we know right now that Mars had water and likely had some amount of oxygen higher than the Earth. Okay. But we don't know that. There's really little information. We don't have much information, so we can actually come up with ideas related to that. So we could make Mars we could have like Mars have like lakes and oceans and oxygen and fish. I mean, we could do things like that when we implement Mars.
Okay, here's a question about the remote control still because we didn't kind of cover this. Does this have different
Yeah.
frequencies for the cars?
Yes.
And
Oh yeah. Right now, this is an older version before some new features have been implemented. So you
Mhm.
actually you needed to use two different antennas to do different channels. So basically, you need one antenna for forward, backward, and another antenna for the steer. But now you can actually aggregate these things into a single value with the new key value system
can I
in the
put
custom language.
can I put a camera on this car? Is there cameras?
So cameras are not implemented yet, but it's in the plans.
Okay. How about can I send uh, text through the computer to another computer somewhere else?
Yes, that is yeah, that works well actually.
Okay. There you go. All right.
So the beacons they have a frequency. You have you have three things you do with the beacons. You can set a emission frequency and a receiving frequency. So you can emit something and other beacons will receive it, but you can also receive at the same time with another beacon. So it's full duplex, we can call it that, and you have you can set a message on your beacon. You can do that without even needing a computer. But you can also use the computer to set that message, and that message will be received in the data port of the other beacon who's listening to that same frequency. So that with that message, what you can do is you can use it with numerical values, but you can also use it with text values, and you can use the key value system to send multiple values in the same text, basically, same channel, and then you can have more complex communication going on.
Okay. This car is actually really fun, by the way. I didn't hear a word you said, but I'm sure they did. Let's play with the car. The car's cool. It feels good. The wheels and how it rolls feels good. Like I feel like I'm in control of a car. So,
Yeah, and there's nothing hard coded in the physics engine that says, "Oh, that's a four-wheel vehicle. That's how it should drive." There's nothing like that. It's all based on individual wheels, so you can put your wheels in any way you
uh-oh,
want, and it just works like you'd expect.
I destroyed it.
Um,
Darn it.
we've
Uh,
experimented with wheels all around the vehicle. It's kind of a fun thing. There's a video on that on our YouTube channel.
yeah, I played with it. You can actually set all the wheels to turn at the same time, which is kind of cool. Oops, how do I do this? Oh, that's why.
Reset orientation.
There we go. So, question for you. Is there any plans for voice chat, or are you not going to do anything like that?
So we have not actively planned it, but maybe it's gonna happen. It's just that I think most games that do that end up the system end up not being used because people just prefer using a TeamSpeak or Discord or other systems. But maybe if it's done properly, people will actually use it. So yeah, I mean, I'm very open to do it.
Yeah.
I think it could be good. It could increase immersion if people can just talk to each other directly in the game.
Yeah, well, they're in Stormworks. They
So
use like you can use walkie-talkies, or you can use like a radio component and send voice,
Yeah.
to space or whatever.
That could be the way to do it, actually. Yeah.
Okay,
With
here's
frequency.
one
Yeah.
for you.
Good way.
This is by Yuli, and Yuli's asking, will there be a complete water simulation like hull pressure, waves, and water trails as ship goes by?
So the pressurization system will simulate the contents of volumes, and it will call water, and you'll be able to have individual water levels on in different areas, like different compartments will have specific water levels. So you'll be able to simulate that. But also, I think it was referring to more like visual effects relative to the water you go through with a boat. We'll look into that. Yes.
Okay, that's to do in the far off, it sounds like. Is there a build menu, or do you build on the vehicle directly? Is there a build menu?
Yeah, you all build inside the world live. There's no editor. It's made to be immersive this way.
So, like, to answer your question, like, so you start off with a frame like this, and I don't know how to say your name, Antonuk. And then from the frame, you could add more frames if you want, or you can come into hitting C and get to the bricks, and then you can add bricks, and you can add them where they're stretched about that far, and then you could bring it out if you wanted to, and then that comes out like that, and then you can build on this, and then of course there's like components that you can place and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can also put entire walls by selecting the wall option. It puts whole walls.
Oh, right, the wall. So if I do the wall option, then I can cover up my my cubes here. So these we were talking. Also, go ahead.
Quick tip, because I've seen your videos how you make let's say you want to make floors. How would you do it? I'm gonna show you a little trick.
You click.
Okay, so you go inside. There's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
You can hold shift, and it will aim at the next logical phase that you're aiming at.
Okay, wait.
So if you exit, you get out of it. If you exit it, exits that. Yeah. So if you,
I see. Hitting shift goes down to it. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
So that makes it
you know what?
A lot easier.
We should tell people about that one thing you told me about last night. On the cubes, okay? So if whatever side you place it on, right? When I click it, oops, sorry. When I click it, the mouse wheel is going to make it stretch from that point. So for some reason, my brain didn't work. So if I put it on this side, if I mouse wheel, it's going to go out to the right. If I go this way, it goes out to the left. And if I do it this way, it's going to go out straight ahead. So for some reason, my brain wasn't getting that.
The normal of the plane that you're aiming at is the direction that this mouse wheel will send it. And the other two axes is the drag plane that, like when you move your mouse. So that's actually it's not just your brain. I mean, I think a lot of people don't get that, and they feel like you start using it and it feels like it's just random. But once you know about that, you realize, oh, it's so much easier because you can in advance like what it's going to do just by understanding that small thing. So it makes it a lot easier.
Okay, next question is, can you save and load a previously made vehicle?
This is the blueprint tool.
Which one is that?
So you can so it's the blue tool.
Oh, the blue tool. Okay, got it. Okay, number 9.
It's called blueprint tool.
Oh, and it highlights the whole vehicle in one shot.
Yeah. So then you left click and hold left mouse to scan it.
Okay.
Right, and then you give it a name.
Oh, okay.
And then you can just
Okay, and then if I want to,
you can just spawn it again. You can publish it on the workshop if you want to.
Okay, so right click to bring up the menu, and then I could publish, and I can spawn, and I can delete.
Yeah, you can publish, you can spawn, you can delete it.
And then, just like that, you have this beautiful creation of mine.
Just like that.
Should I upload this one?
So
what would I call it? I don't know. Okay, and does the workshop? I noticed the workshop doesn't have custom thumbnails yet. Is that a thing that you have to do yourself, or? Or
No, I mean, it's just people don't use they don't do the preview images because the game doesn't do it automatically. Maybe we should make that happen. But when you open up the when you set you like if you hit publish, it opens up a window where you can actually configure everything, put a description, select
okay.
tags, and also you can make
Oh, preview
a
image.
preview image.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so but it will just tell you put an image with that name into that folder. So you click on that folder, it opens up the Windows Explorer with at that space at that position, and you just drag an image that you make. So this way you can make like the image yourself.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and then it will show as a preview.
Okay, that's fine.
But I think like some people don't use that. They just prefer not to put
Well,
any preview.
yeah, well, if they don't do it, then
So
I don't pay
maybe
attention to them because they're too lazy to do that.
yeah.
I don't show them off. Okay. Let's see if there's some more. Ba-bum. Okay. Let's see. Thales says, what's he saying? Oh, wait, before I go. Is there a limit on the radio transmission ranges?
There's no limit.
Okay. So you could pilot a vehicle on the moon?
Yeah,
You can't see it, but you could pilot you can pilot it. Okay.
exactly. You can't see it, but you'll be able to pilot it because the physics engine will just work even if you're very far.
All
The
right.
physics engine doesn't care; it just simulates everything in very high precision.
All right. So
That
Thales
doesn't
is
matter where.
asking for some demonstrations of vehicles that you built. And Thales, you will not know who Thales is, but a lot of the Stormworkers do. He makes very realistic planes in Stormworks, and he actually goes through the trouble of making them perform as that plane would in real life. So he will limit the engine power. He will limit its ability to climb and stuff like that. So he's very good at building stuff realistically and using the game tools to make them perform properly. So I think he wants to look at what you can do in here. So show us a vehicle. I guess this one right here would be cool. It's a flying thing. And to kind of tell us
So
what can you do to restrain how the vehicle performs, I guess.
you can limit the power. I mean, like if we open up the computer programming interface, that we could just like add some multiplications to the output of that engine. Uh, so there's a lot of ways to do that.
Okay, and you have an altitude
Um,
sensor, right? So you could limit how it performs
yeah,
based on altitude, I
yeah.
guess.
Let's just fly for fun of it. I can I'll demonstrate something real quick. So this is a ore scanner that was designed in code in the game with with Xenon code, and it's configurable here with touchscreen, so we can find some ore at specific
Oh,
places.
okay. Sorry to break in, but it's worth noting this is an older screen, right? You have brand new screens you just released, which have higher
Yeah,
resolution.
there's a new one with 3 times the pixel density. You can just put there; it'll just be more precise.
Yeah, and also, guys, this is worth noting too. These screens here, you can resize them. Remember how in Stormworks we said, "Oh, can we just resize our screens to what we need, like width or height?" You can do that with these, so you can actually stretch this
Yeah.
screen and make it very large. How large can you make it?
Yeah, actually, I think it will be great to demonstrate that
Okay,
the dashboard tool.
okay. Can you show it off? Well, let's fly around for a minute. Thales wants to see what you can do with this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay, let's do
Yeah.
that. Okay. So tell me about what kind of physics this is using. Like, what have you programmed
So,
into your engine to make this thing fly?
right now this is flown completely manually. So I'm using a joystick, and also I'm a pilot in real life, so it might be a bit easier for me than some people. But yeah, but right now it's actually the step. It's actually a bit more stable than if you would just fly a lot higher because of the ground effect. So since we simulate ground effect, see, like I just let go of the controls and it just kind of straightened out by itself because of the ground effect. Basically, the air bounces on the ground and goes under the vehicle and pushes it back up. So it will like see, and now we're just like going down with the terrain, and then we just ground effect hover above the water, and I'm not touching the controls, so it stays stable naturally because of ground effect, and this is realistic.
And
But if I
go ahead.
Hmm?
I was gonna say this is not using a
yeah,
gyro.
no, there's no gyro in there, but the props themselves, they like we do simulate gyroscopic precession, so the props themselves will add a bit of stability because it's basically like gyroscopes rotating. So that, yeah, so that helps a bit, but they're like the props here are quite light for the weight of this vehicle. This is a 3-ton vehicle. So the stability, the increased stability of these rotating these rotors, they're not it's not that much, but it does help a little bit. So with this vehicle, I can actually tilt the hinges forward, so that these rotors are mounted on hinges, so they can tilt forward for like going to high speeds, right? So if I just increase the throttle, because that's how I configured it in the computer in this vehicle, I configure it so that past 50% throttle, they will pivot forward to just go like a forward motion, right? So if I just do that,
Okay.
and now I can use the ailerons more effectively to to turn. So this is it's using the ailerons right now to like for roll. So when you're in a hover, you're not like the ailerons won't do anything. It's just they're still wired in, so they still move, but they don't do anything because you're in a hover. In a hover, you don't like there's no airflow going in that direction in the ailerons. So, but when you have like a forward flight like this, then the ailerons are used as control surfaces.
Okay. I just dropped my frame rate was getting bad, so I dropped it down, and now I'm smooth again.
Okay.
There we go. Wow, that makes a difference. Okay. So question for you. So I think I might be wrong. I'm totally making this up, but I think in Stormworks, pivots take into account the weight that is on them to see how strong they are. Do your pivots care about how much weight they move?
No, they do not care about the way that they move. So this is a decision for two reasons: give flexibility to players and also help with performance.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I am redeemed, everybody. I told you pivots were a pain in the butt. Ah. You don't know how many times I've made a video about pivots. I could do like a whole movie about pivots. But yeah. Okay, can you get that jet out here and show Thales how the jet flies? I think that would be kind of cool, especially because
Yeah, sure.
I had trouble flying it because I'm using a keyboard and mouse. Is there something that you're going to do in the near future to make that a little bit easier so you can fly with a mouse and keyboard?
Well, keyboard, of course. The mouse,
Can you do like in Stormworks we have like a look XYZ or XY, and then
yeah.
you can like
So you
hook
can
that.
literally
Yeah.
fly with the mouse. I mean, that would be possible. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, we could add some functionality for that, of course. But I mean, these are my own designs, and since I mean I'm a experimented pilot, I like to have my joystick. Right? So I actually fly always with a joystick. So of course I will design my aircrafts with joystick in mind.
I don't have room on my
But
desk.
some other people, sorry.
I don't have room on my desk for all that. Mouse, keyboard. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like, there's gonna be plenty more workshop items that are designed to be flown well with just keyboard.
Here's a question for you.
So this works.
Let me get out for a second here. This screen in front of you that has all of the altitude and stuff, that's a built-in component you can just use, right, in the game?
Yes. It
And
is, but you could also just code it in if you want.
yeah, I was
Like
going to
you
ask you
have
that.
enough information with yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have enough information with the sensors that you could literally program the same thing with like your custom dashboards.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my next question. All right, so we're gonna. You're flying with what'd you say? A joystick, or are you flying with a gamepad?
Yeah, yeah, hold that like a joystick and throttle.
Okay. So there we go. We're up. And we can't show you this because I don't think I would be able to fly pretty well. But talk about how much effort you've put into multiplayer being smooth. Like, what are you doing? Where are the calculations being done? How do clients impact
Yeah,
it? Yeah, all that stuff.
yeah. So all the physics calculation are done completely on the server side, and the client has nothing to say about it. The client does not even extrapolate, and it still performs very well. And people are having a hard time wrapping their heads around that, but it works well. Even if you have like 100 millisecond ping, you don't really feel it that much, or even at all, compared to other games. So, so since the physics is server side, every object in the game is perfectly synchronized with every other object. So you can be flying like two people in like separate jets and going at like Mach 2 or something, you know, like very fast and just touch wings and you'll collide normally like you would in real life. Like you just like collision detection will just work flawlessly with that. You can also go into orbit and they go like you're basically going to be traveling 8 kilometers per second, full orbital velocity, and dock with your friend's ship. And I believe that is the only game that can do that. I mean, by that I mean multiplayer, immersive multiplayer, full orbital velocity docking. You can do EVAs and stuff with all that. So I believe that is the only game that can do that. I might be wrong, but I don't know any other game that can do that right now.
Okay. Have you seen in testing? Have you seen any kind of desync where things aren't where they're supposed to be?
So there is a slight issue sometimes with the ground anchor because when you use the ground anchor, it makes an object like completely static on the ground. So we take advantage of that for some performance optimizations, even though it's not really needed, I guess. So, but we take advantage of that and we implement some optimizations that maybe we'll just remove because they might not be needed. I mean, people don't really ground anchor their builds and we still get great performance.
And
Even like they build a house, they don't ground anchor it, and performance is great still.
and that
So the
causes
ground anchor
desync?
causes issue. It causes some issues with synchronizing components inside of these things, like especially if you're using like pivots and you're ground anchored, and then you hit the reset button, and then you go back to ground anchor. Some things might be off sometimes, and you just have to cycle the ground anchor, and it's fixed. We're gonna fix that anyways, but we either gonna fix it by like making it still work or removing these optimizations that might be useless anyways. I mean, performance is great anyways.
Okay, cool. Let's see here. Let me try to get some more questions. Let's see. I have to scroll back up. Sorry, guys. I missed some. Let's see. Oops, are we in the water? Or in the water?
Yeah.
Okay, here's from Yuli. How are the Windows wedge systems? So currently, I was playing with the Windows the other night, and they use the blocks, right? So if I go, I guess I can't go to the block menu now. I'm in a plane, but it uses blocks and
Yeah,
wedges and has glass. So do you have plans to do Windows differently at all?
yes, yes, there's a plan for that.
Okay, can you share?
Yeah, we have some ideas for Windows.
Okay, so can you give me a hint?
So okay, I'll show you something then.
Okay,
But it will be based on the wedge, but we're planning on having the wedge not be like say like if you see it from the side, it's we're planning on it not being a square triangle. Uh, so basically, it's going to be more like of a a planar surface that's very thin instead of
Okay.
like a big wedge with a specific like a modifier key, of course. Like you can make it like that with
Yeah,
a
so
modifier key when you place it.
last night I sent you the screenshot of Thales' window mod. Did you take a look at that at all?
Um, did I? I actually don't know.
You're busy
You're
programming at the
talking
time
about?
probably, but I was just showing
Yeah,
you so
oh yeah,
currently
I saw something.
yeah, your windows currently as they are, they have no edges. So you can't do like the frame of a window, right? Because there's no edges to the glass. Is that something you'll be able to do with the configuration of the newer windows that you're working
Uh,
on?
yeah, possibly actually. We could do something like that. We could, or maybe we could do like a completely custom block specific to the window. That like you just you build your you make the shape of it and it just makes a window inside. There are ways to do
Okay.
things.
So, guys, this is your chance. Developer is very good at listening and taking in your ideas. So if you, I don't have the link below, but I will put a link below to the Discord server, and he has a section in there where you can share your ideas and your feedback. And so, right now the game is early in creation or in building and whatever development. That's the word I want. So this is a time to share your ideas, and it seems like you're working on this daily, right? Like you're adding things daily. So yeah, this is your chance, guys. This is a game that you want to get in and be heard. This is the developer that you want to interact with. Okay, let's get some more questions. Is there any radio stuff? Are we able to do pilot stuff billions of kilometers away? I can't kind of answer that, Geek. There is radio antennas. They don't seem to have a limit currently on their distance. There is no voice yet, and there is no video yet. So those are not in the game as of yet. Let's see. Do resources respawn or do they disappear forever?
So okay, resources. If by resources you mean in adventure mode, you have the rocks that you can pick up on the ground, and these rocks will they will be persistent until the next server restart, and then they'll just respawn. The other resources, like mining resources that you would mine with a drill, these will deplete over time, and these will be persistent across server restarts, but they can be reset by the server admin by deleting a simple file.
Okay, so if I was playing, what's that stupid phone ringing? If I was playing solo on adventure mode, once I picked up the resources, they would not respawn unless when I started the game again to continue my play.
So yeah, these rocks, yeah, they will not respawn until you restart, but it doesn't really matter because there's so many of them. You're not gonna really care about like, oh, there's no more rocks here, I have to respawn. It's not really a question. You just you walk a bit more, you find more rocks, but
Yeah.
quickly you're gonna start using the drill instead of the rocks, right?
Okay.
So you're not really gonna worry about
I
that
think
actually.
people are thinking more along the lines like maybe down the road if you have like trees that you chop down or something, do the trees grow back? I guess would be the kind of thought that they're having. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we can figure that out when we get there.
Okay,
I
okay,
mean,
I
we're not
know.
planning on having trees here, but
Right, right.
yeah.
Let's see. Do the viscosity. Any chances there will be some heavy dirty fuel oil that needs to be preheated to reduce viscosity?
Oh, that's that's an interesting question. I mean, there's no oil per se. Like you don't dig oil because this is 3 billion years ago. There you can't. The resources don't include
Dinosaurs?
uh, dinosaurs. Yeah, there's. I mean, there is not even vegetation yet. So the
Okay.
like carbon didn't really build up in the ground like useful energy from carbon.
But in theory, what about
So you don't
Mars?
petrol. So yeah, modders, yeah, I mean, and then at that point they'll decide what they do
No,
with
no,
that,
Mars,
right?
Mars.
So
What
if
about
they,
Mars?
oh, I heard modders, Mars. Well, I guess
I mean,
Mars,
you
we
can't.
have the freedom to do a few things with Mars,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you kind of teased
We
it,
could do
you
nice
know?
things.
People are expecting Mars to have stuff now. We don't have Mars in the sky yet. Just FYI, just in case you're joining late, we don't have Mars. Okay. So that sounds like no, but Yuli, if you can mod, you might be able to add your oil. Sounds like. Let's see.
Yeah.
There is no remote. No, there's no remote camera. Sebastian, what is the plan for jet engines in the absence of oxygen? Nuclear
The
turbofans?
jet engines, they use their own oxygen. So this jet, let's just come here over this jet here. So I'm gonna remove the top panel, and we can see 3 fuel tanks right now. So the middle one is it contains liquid oxygen, and the two on either side they contain liquid hydrogen. Right, so you have twice the volume of hydrogen per volume of oxygen, so that makes it makes up the proper ratio and volume. But in reality, you have like in mass, because the oxygen is a lot denser, you actually have 8 times the mass for oxygen over hydrogen to have a proper mixture to burn optimally. So you have to mix your fuel like that with the oxygen with the proper mixture to have optimal performance on your thruster.
Okay, so
And so yeah, you're carrying your own oxygen.
so these say like fill with O2 or fill with H2 or whatever. Are there things in the game right now so that you can build and create what you need to refuel these?
Yes. Yeah, so in adventure mode, instead of hitting this button will not be available in adventure mode. So to fill these tanks, you'd use an electrolyzer, and you just put some pipe in the ocean and capture that water, pump it into an electrolyzer, and then you get hydrogen and oxygen out of
And
that.
what do you have? I haven't I haven't explored this game fully. I've just been trying to build. But how do you have like a fluid port of some sort or a hose that you can connect to
Yes.
this? And how's that
Yeah.
work?
So yeah, basically the fluid port can it can push fluid out or pull it in, depending on the direction you put the pump, because you have to connect a pump to it. The electrolyzer by itself will pump in the fluid by itself, no
Oh,
pump there.
I grabbed one.
But so if you put a fluid port and electrolyzer and you connect that to a battery, then
And what?
if you put that underwater, you're going to be pumping in water. But if you just put it in the air like that, you're going to be pumping the atmosphere. And you can actually use that to get some methane, because there's quite a bit of methane in the atmosphere. So there's methane and CO2 mostly
Okay, how
in the atmosphere
how would
of the
I
planet.
connect this fluid port?
Uh, okay, so let's spawn a small fluid tank here. Right here, and you take the fluid pipe. So
Oh, that's I don't have one of
go
those.
into
Huh?
your inventory.
Hmm.
So in the inventory, yeah, you see
Oh,
your fluid pipe there.
okay, so it'd be fluid pipe spool, I guess.
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. And then how would I like would I connect a hose to this if I want to refuel it, or how would that work?
Uh, so if you want to connect so the fluid pipe, I mean the fluid port here is meant to push directly or push or pull from the atmosphere that you're in, whether it's water or the air. But it's not meant to connect things to it. If you want to connect things to it, you'd use the fluid bridge. This could act. It can act like a port that you put on the side of your vehicle if you want to charge it, and then you
Mhm.
can just plug like the source of fluid. You plug it in, and you pump the fuel into it, so you can refuel your vehicle
And
if
that's a
you want to.
bridge, you
And you can
said.
also even refuel in
Uh,
midair, right? So you could have like a in-flight refueling that works.
okay,
You could
that's
do
a
that.
bridge right there.
Yeah, fluid bridge.
Okay, how would I use this now? Say it again. Sorry.
So yeah, let's just use the pipe here. Let's just destroy that. We don't need that. So basically, this could be connected to the fuel tank like this, and then from an external perspective, let's say I build here. I'm just going to add some new build here. Add floor, destroy that, and let's say there's another bigger tank. The tanks have pressure; they naturally push fluid out, but you can put a pump to make it go faster. So if I connect that, then it's connected via a flexible pipe. You can see that there's no collision with objects with flexible pipes, but they do collide with the terrain, so they will not go through terrain.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's like a hose, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's actually moving the plane, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry?
It's moving the plane. We're moving.
Yeah, I mean, it may have some impact on the physics, yeah, when it does that. So basically, it might pull the plane a little bit. It has like this thing has some weight with gravity,
So can you unhook that with your hand and like carry it around that hose, or is it just like you connect
carry
it?
it. I mean,
so you can't like.
But you create. It's like you create a cable. You create a new cable. So you just
Okay.
click on one spot and then go click on the other, and it just appears there.
Okay. And do you have the ability to like have a rope that hangs down and you can like have someone connected to something? Do you have that ability?
Yeah, if you use the fluid port. I mean, yeah, I mean, we could do that right now with the fluid port. Let's see. So if I make a new build right here, just to be able to spawn that, and I add a block here, and I add a junction, a bridge. I mean, so I add a bridge here, and then I connect to that, and then I just destroy that.
Okay.
So basically, that's what we've got here.
Okay. So you don't have
Right. So we
winches in
can
the
just
game yet,
carry
right?
around that.
You can't winch the rope down and up, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet, but it will be done, I guess. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
no, I know.
problem to add that.
You're still at this starting point of the game. I understand. A second part of that question about the engines was: are they going to be what was it? Nuclear turbofans? Some kind of nuclear engines or something?
Do you say nuclear or
Yeah,
circular?
nuclear. Sorry, try not to cough at the same
Nuclear,
time.
yeah. We have great plans for nuclear technologies in this game.
Okay.
So the tech is modern in this game. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of different nuclear. Like right now, we already have the RTG, so that's a radioisotope thermoelectric generator. So you get that with some uranium, and it will decay over time. And as it cools down, that difference in temperature will generate energy. So you can use that right now in the game. This is the most basic nuclear technology that we've got, and it will never deplete because it's it's a slow decay. We don't excite the uranium. But we are planning on adding the ability to make entire like power facilities where you design your own nuclear like fission reactor or fusion as well. We're going to implement all that. So and it's gonna go quite far with the like the complexity that you can use with that. So it's not going to be like you spawn a nuclear reactor. They're never going to do that. It's going to be you design it yourself. You spawn tiny components here and there to deal with everything. There's going to be ways to like cool things down with cooling pipes, and like you're going to have to engineer your way through it to make it work and try to make it more efficient,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And you can scale that, right? Like you can make it very big if you want to generate lots of power, and there's going to be a lot of different aspects to that.
Okay,
It's
so
adding a lot of complexity.
I know you're saying yes to a lot of things, and like a lot of these things are like not gonna happen too soon. But like, so what? I'm asking questions, and I think you guys all know in the chat we're asking questions that he's gonna say yes to because he's thinking about them, but they're not gonna happen tomorrow. So on the next question, will trains be possible, or some type of rail system in the game be possible to build? Like, is that
I mean, we could. It would be possible, in that like the physics engine doesn't have anything against that. So if we don't do it ourselves, modders will do it. Most likely, modders will actually do it before we do it, because I think like the emphasis will be more on like having automated vehicles than having them with rails, because like, if you have automated vehicles, you might want them to be able to go through mountains and things.
okay?
So I don't know, like it would be maybe more fun gameplay to make the vehicles automated, but maybe it could be fun as well to
Yeah.
have.
I mean, well,
trains.
I was telling you last night, a lot of the appeal to some of these games is being able to build whatever you want. And I think that's why folks are asking about trains and stuff like that, or spaceships. Because when they come into the game, even though you have a kind of an idea that you want this to take place a billion years ago, I think a lot of people come into these building games where I want to build a 1930s steamship, and they kind of just, that's what they want to do with your game. So I think that's why they ask these questions, and I think that's the appeal of the building games. So yeah, I mean, do you know what I mean when I say this? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, we're not going to shift the focus of the game, but we may add these things in the future. But either way, I wouldn't worry too much about it because mods will come in and add them anyways.
okay.
And we're very open about modding, and the game will be very easily moddable in a lot of different ways. And there will be some official mods that are very easy to use, and that basically, if a server is modded, and like you just connect to it, and it will download the mods that you need and just work
Okay.
for the official mods.
Speaking of modders, do you have any actual modders that are speaking to you and working on some kind of mod?
I mean, yeah. Right now, there. Like, I have had a few conversations with modders who are interested in modding it, and also there's one player who's already been modding the solar system. He's been adding some planets and modifying the Earth and things like that.
Okay.
And that can be very easily done in the game right now.
Okay, Samuel has a question. I think we kind of answered this earlier, but we'll just answer it again. So, will subs and boats work?
They're working already.
Okay, subs and boats work. They just don't have the water cooling, where the water just, there's no enclosed space, right?
Exactly. So the enclosed spaces are not taken into account, and you're just going to see the water go through it. But it's in the plans. It's the next big feature is that it's the pressurization system and water cooling.
So in the next update that you're working on, the pressurization system for a submarine, are we going to be able to do compressed air and do that kind of thing with ballast, pushing out ballast and all that kind of stuff?
Yes. I mean, right now the way people are building submarines is they fill some fluid tanks with water, and they empty them to vary the buoyancy, and that's working fine right now.
Okay,
already.
But in your pressure system that you're working on, is there going to be actual?
It'll just be more. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna fill entire rooms with fluid,
and you can pressurize
pressure.
Yeah, you can pressurize.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have air, you can compress it even more, make it like all the way to a liquid state, and it will be very dense. So it will be very heavy.
Okay. So, and answering or talking about the boats again, just so you guys know in the chat, this is Earth 8 billion years ago. Is it 8 billion? I don't know how many billions of years.
It's 3 billion years
3
ago.
billion years ago. Okay. I added some more billions. But there's no oxygen on this planet currently, so there's no combustion engines. So if you're building boats you're going to build with the prop that they have, which is, I guess it's electric based, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now there is no combustible engines, and if there will be any, he suggested that it might be on a different planet or a modded planet. So just so you guys know, right now this is where the game is at with propellers that are electric, and we've got the thrusters which use oxygen, hydrogen, right? Oliver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring your own oxygen here in some fluid tanks here. It's
Right.
liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen.
Yeah.
And that's how you power your thrusters.
Okay, yeah, so those are the only two propulsion methods currently in the game, just so you know, FYI, guys. Okay, so what else do we have? Can you weld blueprint? Oh, yes, you can. You can. Can you weld blueprints to other builds?
Yes. Yeah, I have a tutorial on that on my channel.
Yes.
And basically, if you make a blueprint of something, you can then instead of just spawning that blueprint by itself, you can actually spawn it onto another build, and then you can very precisely like move it around and like find exactly where you want to put it. And then you apply that, and then that's it. It's part of your build.
Yeah, can you slap your jet engine on this thing?
I guess I can
just
do
to
that.
show it. Yeah, just to show it. I'm gonna still look for questions.
Let's find it. So this will be thruster assembly.
Yeah.
And I'll just put it here.
Let's see. So Thales is making the suggestion that a hypothetical near completion.
It's a bit heavy though.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. So you can slap engines. So it doesn't have, currently it doesn't have the selection copy paste, but you can save a build and then use it and paste it on the build that you're working on. So just FYI on that one too.
So now it's part of it. Yeah.
So Thales is suggesting that you go into the future or something like that to have a lifeless Earth. Okay.
I mean, I can technically change the time.
I know. We're just giving you a hard time. I'm sorry. Oh, look, it's nighttime. Oh, look, wait. It went, solar eclipse, right?
Lunar eclipse.
Lunar eclipse.
So yeah, So
there you go.
Right now I can make the sun, So right now the moon, like the Earth is in between the moon and the sun. So the moon is not receiving any light, so it can't reflect any light back to Earth. So it's pitch black right now. I mean, besides our light source, so if I just turn off my, my lamp, then it's pitch black. But if, move it back out, then you get a nice moonlight going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the lighting's pretty cool in this game. There is a question.
And this is only possible with ray tracing.
Oh, right. Yeah. It bounces everywhere, right? Will there be a way to export builds out of the game, like to Blender? So, like, Stormworks has its ability so that you can, like, export a vehicle to a 3D model in OBJ, I think.
So when you scan a blueprint, the output of that is JSON format. And it's similar to Stormworks in that, like, it will be like it will contain everything that you have in your blueprint, like all in the JSON format instead of XML. And then you can easily make a tool. I mean, some modder over there can easily make a tool that reads that and generates a 3D model out of it. So that would be a very easy mod to do.
Okay, there you go. Geek says, are there any soft physics? Can blocks bend?
Blocks, they cannot bend yet, but with an upcoming vehicle destruction feature, we're looking into that, like having some kind of deformation going on when with the destruction. So we're never gonna split vehicles, right? Our destruction system will not split vehicles. Instead, they will they will basically make the components not work and deform a bit, things like that.
Okay. So are the things that we had early on, are they somewhere else still in the world? Like the
Sorry, I
Doom
didn't hear
buggy.
that.
So like the Doom buggy and the
Oh yeah, yeah, it's over there somewhere.
oh
You
yeah,
can, like, if you look over there, you can zoom with Z.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so
You can
that
see them over there.
so yeah, so there's just stuff scattered around, and the game doesn't seem to care.
Yeah,
That's
they're exactly 2 kilometers away right now. We can see them.
yeah. Oh,
So if you hit V on the terrain, you can see the distance.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Like, there's a lot of little hidden keys, aren't there? I don't know. I didn't read the top right, but there are a lot a lot of features. Okay, so let's see. More questions. More questions. Will coding be necessary to make creations, or will logic system be similar to Stormworks? Okay, let's show you that.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get over there faster? Is there a
Yeah, just press F10.
F10? Oh, okay, that works. Is that like a reset?
Yeah, it's just it's respawn. It goes back to spawn.
All right, I'm just gonna.
In adventure mode, if you use that, you're gonna lose your inventory though.
So who am I talking to? Is it Vivid? No, who was it? Asked that question. Oh, it's Ace from Within. So Ace, this is your computer, and I don't know how to use it properly, but if you hit F on the keyboard or the code board, you can see that this game is really cool. It has two different modes, and you can see the code in the background, and you can switch between them. So it has like a logic node like Stormworks, and if I want to add a module, like I guess you own this, so I can't touch it. Is that what the deal is? Oh, it's read only, right?
Just hit edit because I actually took it just before you did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's actually collaborative. Like you can be multiple people like watching one person code, and then
really?
you can take over the control.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's all collaborative, both for the nodes and for the code.
Okay, so looking at the thing, Ace, I can right click, and then I have all these different components that I can do. We've got the math components, the compares, and then when I pick one, it spawns like a little node, just like Stormworks, where you have it, and then you can take your node and you can connect it and, you know, run it like that. But it also has the switch to the code editor, and then you can directly, if you're smarter than me, you can actually write code. And he has a website with the Xenocode documentation, and you can just kind of learn from that. And then if you're smarter than me, you could probably do some really cool stuff. So yeah, it does have what Stormworks.
And also, there is no limit, like the 4096 character limit that Stormwork has.
Yeah,
you don't have that limit.
There's no limit.
You can add as many files as you want and include them into one another to make very complex programs.
Okay, so if you guys are coders, you could probably do some really cool stuff with this. So I'm excited to see what appears on the workshop in the coming weeks. So there's the answer to that question. Okay, so Boom Sig says, just found the game on Steam. Love what it is so far. Okay. Is there any premise for building outside just being an open sandbox? I don't understand what that question means. Is there any premise for building outside just being an open sandbox? I guess, do you have kind of, I guess maybe this is what he's asking. Do you have any reason why we are two Chrome dudes in this world right now? Are we from the future? Are we aliens? What are we?
There is no specific storyline.
Okay.
So, and that's made very clear in the trailer. Actually, like, who are you? Well, it's up to you.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't matter. It's a sandbox. It's an engineering sandbox. There's no storyline, and the timeline is set on like the Archean eon 3 billion years ago. Because I mean it's a bit innovative. It's different than other games. It's a new idea, but it also makes it simpler.
Okay. So you talked about survival needing oxygen. Do we breathe oxygen? Are we humans? So can we take off our mask and see our face?
Okay, so the plan for that, no, you cannot take off your mask. So the idea is the character is a humanoid. It's basically a hybrid humanoid with biological brain. So you do need oxygen, but not that much, right? So your body is mechanical, and you have a biological brain that requires oxygen, and your body has an integrated RTG to have like unlimited like energy, but at low power. You know, you can make electrolysis from inside your suit. So basically, if you're in water, you're generating oxygen with electrolysis.
Okay.
So you can go in water and you're never gonna drown.
Yeah, there's no
Unless you
crafting
actually
interface here,
disable your
right?
electrolyzer.
Like, is there a crafting interface here?
Sorry?
Oh yeah, there it is. So
Yeah, just
this
your
is the
inventory
crafting
is- yeah.
interface. And there's lots of components you have to make to build other components when you're in adventure mode. So you have to build like or create screws and all that stuff, and it's kind of cool. I was playing with it a while ago, where wait, how do I get to my inventory? Can I get to my inventory?
Yeah, I mean, right now, okay, so I mean, there's a delay in the stream, so I don't
Like if I
see
pick
what
up rocks,
you're
can
doing.
where do the rocks go right now? If I do a rock in the
Yeah,
backpack,
so
right? Oh, there
if
they
you
are.
pick up rocks, they'll go in your inventory.
Okay, so what I want to show
And
these
then
people is after you pick up a bunch of rocks, this is the beginning of the game. You pick up rocks by hand, of course, then you get a drill later. But you click on the rocks and just put them in over here, and then you can like crush them, and then it breaks them down to the different components. So iron and silicon. So, and then you start making your parts. I'm not really covering adventure. I'll have to actually try adventure on a stream and see how that goes, because it seems interesting. Also, I need to show you a live server right now. We'll do that at the end, but we'll show you a server that has people on there. It has buildings, and they're playing the game together, and they're building things together. It's crazy, and there's no like lag really. So really interesting. Okay, any more questions before we kind of wrap up some stuff here? Let's see here. Okay, we talked about terrain deformation, possibly in the future. Is there any gas or diesel engines? We answered that. No. Possibly in the future on a different planet or a mod that somebody makes, could be. But currently there is nothing on this planet with combustion engines. Are there any chances of doing anything in it go? Wait, what? I don't know what that means. Is there diffraction or advanced lighting behavior? There's one.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Let me demonstrate something.
Okay.
Let me find it.
Oh, look at this. I might have to up my graphics again. Hold on. So I'm in low.
Yeah, because you're not seeing the refraction with low graphics.
Okay, so let me go to medium again.
Just refraction.
There we go. And now I drop down to 25 frames per second at 4K. So just so you know, that's what I'm running, guys. So let me close that off. And if we come in here, we've got like this crazy room. And I'm on medium settings. So just FYI, so you see little edges in here and there. But there you go. Look at that. Wall of mirrors. And then you got the diamond.
The diamond in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all refracted. It's just the refraction just works with the glass. You can build things out of glass like that.
There you go. Let's see. Story mode or campaign? No, there's no story mode or campaign. It's basically this game, if I can speak for you for a second, is built from the ground up to be a multiplayer game and to play with friends, correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes. Yeah. It's built from the ground up to be multiplayer. You can play solo, but it's really made to be played multiplayer.
Okay.
It's very good at that.
Yeah, and I'll show you at the end of the stream. We're going to go to another live server, and we'll show you what it looks like. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else? Is there character customization? Yes. It's right here on the F1 menu. And let me speed up my graphics. I like running on low. I get that 30 to 60 frames per second. And if we hit avatar style, oops, I am zoomed out. How did I do that? Oh, there I am.
Yeah, because that's what it does when you because you need to see your avatar.
Okay, there we go. So I can click, and let's go with this cool red. And we have different settings. So right now I'm in metallic. I can go to matte, which is just kind of a flat paint job. Or I can go to glossy, which is kind of like a shiny paint job. And then, of course, the metallic one will make me reflect everything. I'm not a red kind of guy. I'm kind of a blue guy. So that's cool. And maybe a little darker blue, lighter blue here. There we go. And there you go. That's how you customize your avatar's colors. Are there any plans to have different, like, heads that you can swap out or anything like that, or is that a mod thing kind of thing?
Most likely with mods, but maybe we'll add it in the future. But I think we're planning on being big with mods, basically like supporting a modding community, like officially. So a lot of things will come with mods.
Okay. I think Ukraine supporters asking why the RTX, because he's saying why force ray tracing, and we answered that at the beginning of the
Yeah.
stream, but you can briefly say it again. Why you're using
Okay.
RTX.
Yeah. So we like for this game to even be possible, like ray tracing is required. So ray tracing is not just a graphic effect that you add on top of rendering. It's really a whole new way of rendering. And most games don't really use it that way. They just add it on top of like as an effect, so they don't gain any advantage out of it really, besides physically correct reflections. But they still can't do infinite reflections, or they still can't gain performance out of it. Because with this game that is fully ray traced, there's no like first rasterization part pass or anything. It's just fully ray traced. Uh, and this lets us have very highly complex geometries in a way that we don't even need a LOD system for any object. And it, like the ray tracer just does not care about geometry. It will only care about like light bounces and the screen size, like resolution. It's basically only about the number of rays that are traced. So it lets us have a lot of flexibility on the objects and mods in the future. So the mods will be able to make highly complex objects, very high complex geometries without worrying about different LOD systems. And also, they won't have to worry about tweaking shadow maps and making like baking lights into their objects. It just works dynamically. And we also don't have a skybox. We're not using any kind of skybox for global illumination. It's all rendered in real time. So the atmospheric scattering that you see in the sky is rendered in real time, and it actually supports multiple suns
What
if
about
you want to do it.
the stars?
Sorry?
The stars.
Yeah, so let's see the stars. I'm gonna change to night here, so I'm gonna advance time. So these stars,
Uh-huh.
they're also rendered in real time. This is not a skybox. Okay, these are 3D. These are actual stars in 3D space.
What does that
Okay,
mean?
they're points. So they're not. It's not a skybox. It actually they're points positioned in 3D space where the star would be.
Okay, but it's not like a round object out there, right?
No, because you wouldn't be able to reach it anyways.
Okay.
So yeah, we took that shortcut there because this is not a game about traveling between stars, but
Okay.
more about like a single solar system that's customizable.
Okay, let me ask you another
And
question.
so you can travel between planets.
Can you like find like constellations?
Constellations, no, these are not the real constellations. It's procedurally generated.
Okay.
And they will always be like the same stars, so you can actually make up your own constellations, and like you're gonna actually recognize it because they will always be generated the same way.
Okay. Oh, okay, let's see. So geek this is it's about his light question. So he's talking about, can you do not light reflection but light diffraction, like beaming a laser into a tiny hole to create a diffraction?
Okay, so diffraction does not work because that would require the rays to be traced from the light source outwards, and this is not possible in real time on any technology right now.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Any more, guys? Get your questions in.
Actually, I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna add to that though. We can actually make a projector by projecting, like by shining a spotlight through a transparent screen, and the shadow of the text will be projected. So that is possible. That works right now.
Yeah, so you can actually do like a movie screen, right? If you have a
Yes, exactly.
yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, does it run well on laptops? Ukraine supporter,
Yeah,
you're gonna need an
yeah.
RTX
I mean,
card for sure. Like that's
exactly.
the requirement.
So I have a laptop here that I'm testing with to test with like low end graphics. So I'm running a 2060, right? So that basically the lower end RTX laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and so it has a full HD screen, 1080p, and I run between 60 and 90 FPS in medium settings with that laptop.
Okay. Cool. So there you go.
So the screen resolution makes a
Okay.
huge
So he says
difference, and also
he's
if you're streaming, if you're recording, it also makes a
he's
difference. So you're having a yeah.
he's worried about his RTX laptop overheating. Does it? I think. Correct.
Well, I mean, if it overheats in games, it will overheat in this one as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I think the problem, and this is in my brain too, when you hear like ray tracing and RTX, what comes to mind is like Call of Duty, right? Where like you had Call of Duty and like you turned on RTX and the game like just like tanked, right?
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
So that is yeah that is because these games like Call of Duty, they actually use both rasterization and ray tracing. So rasterization is the old way to render things, but they all still use it, and they just apply ray tracing on top of it as like an extra effect. So basically, they run the two things at the same time. So it's twice as slow, right? So they run both algorithms at the same time. That's the problem. That's why it slows down. But in our case, if I would try to make this with rasterization, with all this complexity, like the geometric complexity that we're using with the terrain and everything, we would drop frame rate a lot. So the ray tracing actually runs better than the same thing with rasterization.
There you go. Sorry, Colorado. There is no way currently without RTX. So that's what this game is built on. Think of it like a next generation game in that way. It's looking for
all new graphics cards are sold with ray tracing capabilities now. So even the AMD cards, RDNA 2 Plus, like they do hardware ray tracing. However, at the moment, AMD have issues in their drivers on Windows. It makes it not even start. So the game does not start on AMD graphics card, even though they technically do hardware ray tracing in Windows, okay? Because of driver issues. So we're just waiting for AMD to fix their drivers, and then it will suddenly just work.
Okay, cool. So that's something people are looking forward to. Any server hosting partner or limited to spinning up your own Linux, Docker, VM, local, or hosted? So you don't have any partnerships with anything right now, right?
Not yet.
No.
But it's very easy to start up your own dedicated server. You can rent any server somewhere. I mean, it even works with a VPS up to a certain point. Like you take like a 8-core VPS and with an SSD, that's important, and it will just work.
Yeah.
And you need a higher bandwidth if you're planning on having a lot of players join in, and you don't need much RAM. Okay, so this game, the server like is very low on RAM consumption. It's like, and people are keep commenting about that. It's crazy. You're gonna start the game. It's like with like an empty game is gonna be like 30 megs of RAM. The server, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you fill up the world, I mean, it doesn't really go that much higher. You're gonna get like we've seen like 300 megs. Like that's really the higher memory consumptions that we've seen with like a lot of things in the world. Like there was a lot of things on that server, a lot of people connected, and it's like 300 megs. Like it's nothing. So you really don't need much RAM at all.
Okay, cool. So Thalys is asking about planet customization settings.
So when you start a server or any solo game, like you create a new world, basically, it will copy the default world from the game files all the way to the server world directory to like lock it in place, right? And then this file, basically this directory structure that it copies over it is describing the solar system in a hierarchy kind of thing, like where the subdirectories are things orbiting around that, and so on. So you can have as many levels of things orbiting around each other as you want, and you can just add new files. It will add planets, and the files are ini files. They're basically config files, and you just define properties like atmosphere, terrain, mass, and things like that, and it will just work. And when you modify settings on planets on your server, it will automatically refresh that on all the clients that are connected instantly. So you can actually modify that live and visualize what it does.
Okay. So there you go. All right. So
I guess I could actually demonstrate that. Let me demonstrate that actually.
Demonstrate? How are you going to demonstrate?
Yeah, I can demonstrate the modifying the planets. I think that's
real time.
It's sorry. Yeah, in real time. Yeah, you'll see it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let us watch.
Okay. So, I mean, you just sit there and you'll see it. You'll see things happen.
Okay.
So how about so what is this world? This is let me just find this world. And okay, and there it is. Go to that directory. So how about I modify the Earth? So if I say we can modify the atmospheric content, so let's say we make it a lot less nitrogen and a lot more CO2, and that's what it does.
Now it looks like
a tiny difference.
Pasadena, my house. There's smog everywhere.
So I'm just going to revert that, and then I'm going to do, let's say, change the mass.
Okay.
Increase the mass. So that will increase gravity. So I'm going to drastically increase the mass there. So like, yeah, the atmosphere now is like a bit closer. I'm going to go even further. Let's go even further with that.
Oh.
There. So right now, and try walking, right?
Oh, fall down fast.
Yeah, the gravity is a lot higher.
Right? Okay. Can you do the opposite?
And
can you make us float?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let's say this. Okay. So you could do this if you added more planets. You could have a planet with different atmosphere. Whoa, what are you doing?
We're gonna have to use our jetpacks here because it's like I made it 10 times lighter, so there's almost no gravity. Like we feel almost nothing.
This is right.
If we let go, we're gonna end up falling.
Whee! Okay.
And see the atmosphere, how it changed.
Yeah.
So the atmosphere just became. Yeah, so the atmosphere just became a lot thicker.
And you could add different planets and have a different atmosphere on every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you can do that now, right? Like, you could actually just add new planets right now on a server.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I mean, new planets and the server needs to be rebooted. Modifications, they don't.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. So, question. Thalie says, is there wind? And how do you delete a build? Deleting a build is... How do you delete a build?
To delete a build, you can destroy it if it's yours. You can destroy components one by one. Or if you're an admin or you're playing solo, you can use the admin panel and just hit delete.
Okay, delete that. Okay.
You can see all your builds. You can teleport to it. You can delete it. You can, yeah.
All right, so Thalisa's question about wind. Is there wind?
So wind, currently there's no wind, but the physics engine already handles it. We just have to add it. But we didn't want to add like a constant wind because it's a bit boring, and sometimes it can be a bit weird. It can seem a bit weird that like you put something on the ground that's just and it bites into the wind, like some very tall structure that with like walls and stuff, and it might just fall over for seemingly no reason, but it's just because the wind is pushing it, and it just seemed weird to some people, like. And we would have, I think we would have gotten a lot of bug reports of people just thinking like, oh, there's a bug, it just falls. Well, it's the wind. So we just disabled the wind for now until we actually implement a weather system that will make it vary and like have clouds and stuff, and like actually have a feel of the environment with the wind.
Oh, like you
So
need.
the only thing
Yeah.
was working with the wind is just like you hear it, right? But
Yeah.
like people sometimes cut out their sound.
Currently,
They
you don't
don't
have any
want the
like
wind. They
wind
don't want the wind to
particles
their
either, right?
fields. Sorry?
You don't have any wind particles, like particles that blows to signify wind direction or something?
There is an experimental feature for that
Okay.
that you can try. It's purely visual.
Okay.
You can actually enable it now, but
Oh, okay. Is it in the graphic settings?
just going to increase the weight back so you give us a bit more gravity.
Let's see, medium. Where am I looking? I don't see anything. Oh, is it only on your side? Or is it custom
no,
graphics?
you see it. It's an advanced.
Oh,
you have
okay.
to go into advanced.
Got it. Okay.
So you go cut this down, yeah, and then you have the advanced graphics.
Okay, dust.
And then yeah, dust in the wind experimental. You can enable that.
Okay, but there's no wind, right? So we're not going to see anything.
Yeah. So for now, we hard coded the value to test it. It's experimental. We just hard coded like a wind speed value, even though there's no wind.
I don't see anything. Am I supposed to see particles flying?
You don't see it? I actually see it. I actually see it through your stream.
I mean, I see it like a different color, but I don't see like movement.
Maybe a different time I'll see it more. So if I make it like
okay, there we go. Now I see it a little bit. Yeah. Kind of like a
and it's ray traced, so it will actually be affected by shadows. Like yeah, so it will cast shadows. So if you go behind something, it's like basically it's like God rays. It will.
Okay, I see what you're talking about now. Okay.
It reflects light. Yeah.
So let's head to the moon. I kind of want to see the moon surface. Can we do that?
Yeah. Let's go into our UFO.
Okay. Excuse me, guys. Allergies suck.
Are you ready?
Yep.
You sitting? Seatbelt on?
Seatbelt on.
Okay, let's go.
And we're heating up.
Maybe you should have. You should show an external view of that. It's actually like because we're going so fast. It's also the effect that you'll get with re-entry. So
where's the moon? I can't find it. Where's?
I mean, we've changed the mass of the Earth a lot, so I mean, the moon like went places.
Oh, it moved location.
It changed again. Okay, so I just adjusted the mass of the Earth.
Oh, there it is. I see it now. It's behind us. Right side. Okay.
And we actually see like the Earth is casting a shadow on the moon.
Yep.
And the moon is also reflecting the Earth's ocean.
Okay. So now we're gonna like.
So can you look at the look from inside? I want to show the nav instrument real quick.
Okay. Oh.
So this is the orbit that we are in right now. It's not a very good orbit, obviously. I didn't control for it. So right now we're going 8.75 kilometers per second. We're kind of we're aiming kind of retrograde. So if I accelerate, because I mean this vehicle has infinite acceleration. It's just like it's a UFO kind of thing. It uses the magic cube. So I'm aiming retrograde. So I'm slowing down right now. It makes me fall as well. So I'm gonna go upwards a bit as well. And there it is. So see now the orbit line is it's a cyan circle because it means basically that I'm not going to hit the atmosphere. So it's a safe orbit. It's not perfectly circular right now, but it's a safe orbit. And so you can keep accelerating, and at some point you just hit escape velocity. And now we've escaped because we're going almost 11 kilometers per second. And right now we would not be in orbit. We reached escape velocity. We're still affected by the Earth's gravity, but we will escape it, right?
Okay.
And you can see that by the zero periapsis and apoapsis, they are zero, right? And you don't see the circle around the Earth anymore. Right? So I can configure the nav instrument to display the target of the moon. Let's do that real quick. So see, there's a target now that just appeared, and I can go into locator mode. And then we get some information like the approach speed, the distance, the deceleration required, and the ETA. Right?
41
so
minutes.
If I accelerate more,
30 minutes. 20 minutes. 30 seconds. 10 seconds. 3 seconds. Oh! What?
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button.
You hit the button to go back.
I hit the wrong. Yeah, I hit the teleport button instead of slow down. Like I have
take me back to the moon. Thales is asking. Thales is asking. Orbital mechanics, KSP or N-body simulation?
I would say neither, because I mean the game does simulate orbital mechanics and gravity, but not like you're not going to do time warps, and it is in real time for all the game objects, but it is on rail for the planets. So the planets pre-compute their trajectories once, and they're just going to follow that on rail. So that you can like just play with the time as the server admin, but the objects are all real time. They will get attracted by gravity of celestial bodies in real time through the physics engine. If that answers the question, but yeah, there's no time warp like you would have in Kerbal Space Program, because then. This is a multiplayer game. It's meant to be a multiplayer game, and we want the experience to be the same, whether it's with friends or solo.
Okay.
So you cannot time warp, because then different people on the server will see different time, and it does not make any logical sense. To like, it would just be weird. So that is why the KSP is solo, and then these multiplayer mods, they have they have compromises. Like basically it's either like you all change the time at the same time, or it changes it for everyone, or it's weird.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't have time warp.
Okay.
And we're planning on having more powerful propulsion systems with constant acceleration instead of time warping. So you're not typically gonna be using gravity assist in this game, even though it would technically work. It's just not the typical thing that players are going to do.
Can you build multi-stage rockets?
Yeah, I mean, some player actually built one, right? Like today. I mean, he demonstrated today. There's actually a video. He posted a video on Discord. So he made a multi-stage. He used the docking ports to make the two-stage stick together.
Okay.
And he actually used a crane. He built a crane with hinges and flexible cables. He built a crane like that in the game to lift the second stage on top of the first stage and attach the docking, right? And they attach to each other. That's crazy. It's fun. And then he demonstrated the takeoff and the separation once he reached. He went outside the atmosphere and he separated them. I can actually see the comment right now, like the question, plans for warp drives. So I was actually going to that. We're not planning warp drives that would defy science, okay? But we are planning a warp drive system that does not defy science, okay? And that will limit the ultimate speed to the speed of light. And basically, the way it will work, it will multiply the acceleration, the effective acceleration, without you feeling it from inside the ship. But it will not effectively go faster than light. So the light speed will become the limit, right? Right now, there's no actual limit, but when we implement that, there's going to be that light speed limit implemented because of that. And so it will not be defying physics. It will require a huge amount of energy, but you'll be able to warp space-time in a way that you can increase your effective acceleration and deceleration with just normal thrusters. It's just that their effective acceleration and deceleration will be increased.
Okay. Cool. All right. So can we go back to the moon, man? Can we go back to the moon?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Oops.
This time I'm
Actually,
outside, so we should see something cool, right? When we warp. No.
yeah. Just wait a second. I'm
Let's
just gonna
see.
go back to your stream. Okay, so let's do this. Where is the moon? It's on the other side. It's over there somewhere. So let's just. Oh, sorry, I forgot to disable the atmosphere. If I try to accelerate too much, then I get so much of a hit with the atmosphere that it will. There's a lot of drag. So right now I'm disabling the atmosphere to be able to do this.
Is this graphic supposed to represent heat?
Yes, I mean this is plasma that you would see. I don't know if you've seen the Starship from SpaceX.
Yeah.
We're actually able to see that live. We see that plasma. So and we're since we're ray tracing it, we can actually see the we make it take exactly the shape of the object and like it's like the air molecules bouncing on the object and heating up, and also heating up the front of the vehicle. So yeah, let's go a bit faster, and we're out of the atmosphere.
There we go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. No loading screens, just from Earth to the moon. Boom. Nice. Or an hour if you're using the rockets. Any plans for colonies or terraforming? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but the colonies you're pretty much building with your friends in multiplayer. Terraforming? I don't think so. Is there or
terraforming?
Huh?
Well, I mean, the game is real time, and terraforming takes thousands of years, so or even more. So it's not that kind of game. It's meant to be real time.
Okay, can we go to like a crater? Can we go inside a crater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are places where there's like craters inside craters inside craters. That's fun.
Oh, really? Oh, crazy. Yeah. So I heard the moon is hollow. Can we go inside the moon? Can we go inside the moon? And is this using like how are you doing this? Is it using like a bump mapper or how does it create the texture?
So this is fully procedurally generated on both the CPU and the GPU. There's no texture involved here. It's just geometry. It's pure geometry. No texture whatsoever.
And we're going down.
Let's try to aim at some small crater.
It's hard to tell how big things are, huh? Like I don't.
Yeah, it's very difficult on the moon. That's actually a real problem.
Look at that. Look at
in real life.
There's the Earth.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Okay.
Yeah, there's the Earth.
Look at this. This is cool. Makes me want to build a rocket. I don't even like rockets, but kind of makes me want to build one. Okay. And oh, these walls are higher than I thought they were. Wow.
And there it is.
There we go.
So you can just exit and walk around, and you have lower gravity.
We do? Oh, we do.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is there or will there be a fire simulation and realistic smoke?
Possibly in the future. Not a priority at the moment.
Okay. Look at that. That looks cool. Look at that. I feel like I'm playing this. What is that game that was very bad? Starfield. I'm on Starfield game now. We can zoom in. And you can still see the land masses on the planet over there. That's crazy.
is the actual planet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Could you build a space elevator? I wonder.
Yeah, maybe it's the only game where you can. I mean, I mean a full scale game that you
Yeah,
can do that
yeah,
because there's no really a limit how big you can build things.
that's cool. Let's see. I heard the moon is made of cheese. Doesn't look like cheese. We're here on the moon, and it does not look like cheese. Oh, look, there's a little moon buggy. Hello. That's cool. I bet you can't get out of here. Can you get out of here? Let's see. Would it be... Would... Whoa. Poppin' willies. Would be realistic black holes be moddable in the game? Who knows, Ukraine? Might be possible.
It's in the plans at some point. Yes,
What?
people will be able to add black holes in their. It's actually very easy to do it ray tracing.
Okay.
So might as well add it at some point. But I mean, it's not going to be in the solar system naturally, so people are going to have to manually edit their solar system to add it in because there's no black hole in our solar system.
Okay.
So if they want to be orbiting a black hole, they can do that.
Ace, we already answered this question earlier and went into detail, so you might want to watch it earlier. Train destruction is not currently in the game, possibly in the future, and it's certainly doable.
Possibly.
It's just not done.
Yeah, it is doable. We have experimented with some ways to do it that actually works great. It's not exactly voxels, but it would let people dig pretty much any shape, like basically like a tunnel or a hole through the ground, and it would look like very precise, very nice. It just it would work quite well. We're just not sure we want to bring the gameplay there, but and it's low priority anyways. The focus is really engineering. So, and we just upside down now.
Can you reset the vehicle while someone's inside it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Oh, you can. Okay, question. Is the moon geostationary or geosynchronous? What's the difference?
It is geosynchronous at the moment because it's been made very close, but it's geosynchronous because it's a decision we made for gameplay purposes, but it doesn't have to be. The orbits of planets and moons are real time. They work. It all works. It's just we've made it the exact distance required to be exactly geosynchronous. So it will follow the Earth's rotation. So basically what it means, for those who don't know what geosynchronous means it will follow the rotation of their parent body. So the Earth is rotating and the moon is rotating, is orbiting with it, and it always stays at the same spot in the sky. So you're always going to see the moon above your head.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So yeah, so Earth and Moon space elevator should be possible. Yeah, you know how long it's going to take you to get to the moon?
That's stretching it. But,
you know how long that's going to take? Oh my
gosh. It is far. Okay, so now I want to demonstrate something. So
okay.
So if we can leave the moon, okay. I want to demonstrate how seamless this game is. So you can leave the buggy.
Okay.
Leave your seat. Yeah, and when you're ready, just press F10 to respawn at the spawn point.
All right. So F10 is going to send me back to the Earth, right where we started from, right? And all of our vehicles are sitting there. Like if I look, where's the Earth? If I look back there, on that planet way back there are all my builds that we had out, the rover and all that crap. So I'm going to hit F10 and we're going to go back. Here it goes. And it's loaded already. I didn't even get a chance to move the camera. So all our stuff is here. Our space buggy is lost on the moon, wherever the moon is. I lost.
Yeah, of course, it's still on the moon. The buggy is still on the moon. I mean, if you go back to it, it will still be there.
Okay, so what if we go to the sun? What is there? Is it just a bright ball?
Yeah, at the moment it's a very bright ball.
Very bright ball. Okay, cool.
It is spherical.
Oh, it is. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Thales is asking questions, which is good. I want Thales to ask questions. As a player draws closer to the speed of light, would the time flow faster for him as in relatively.
Now we cannot implement time warp in a multiplayer with a multiplayer concept, right? Like, so you cannot have a different time frame between players in the game. So unfortunately, we can't make the time flow at different speeds for different players.
Okay. All right, so my next thing I want to do, I'm going to exit off this server, off your server, and I'm going to go into that GGAF server, and I'm at their town, so I kind of want to show what multiplayer looks like with people that are actually, like, building stuff, okay?
Yeah,
all
let's do
right,
this.
so I'm gonna disappear for a second, guys. It's going to be a black screen, and then it will reload. Okay. Hold on one second.
So you're going with the adventure. Go to the DGAF adventure.
I believe that's the one I was on.
So there's already there's three people right now on it at this time.
Wait.
So we're gonna be 5.
I'm on the 4 one, right? Yeah. They're showing 4
yeah,
for
right.
me.
If you see 4, it's because I just logged into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go, guys. So I just loaded into the game, and you saw how fast it loads. I didn't see anything build in front of me. And if we look around, they've been building stuff. They've been building... I don't even know what they've been building. They've been
destroying
water stuff and everything. Okay, I am a little slow. So let me see what settings I am on. Oh, I've got a lot of things connected here. Let me turn off some advanced graphics here. Turn off the dust. And then...
yeah, just go back to the low preset.
Yeah, I want to go back to medium, right?
Or low. Because you're in 4K with an older generation GPU. So low for you in 4K. I mean, if you do 1080p, you just put medium and you'll be fine. Always like 100 FPS and more.
All right, and what's my setting on with the thing? Oh yeah, and I have this that I didn't adjust to. There we go. So I'm at 30 frames per second for... Oh, yeah, 30 frames per second, 4K. And that's better. Okay, so they've got stuff here. They've got water things. Over here is like a boat.
I think we don't see your screen. We don't see the game on your stream.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. My bad, guys. Thank you. Hold on. Let me see. What did I break on OBS? OBS, what are you doing? Okay. 1 second, guys. I think it's back. That back? Give it a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, yes. So I lowered my upscaling so that it's a bit faster. And so I'm running a 4K monitor, and it's running at 4K, and I'm getting 30 frames per second. And as you can see, they've been building, and I guess you missed it when it loaded in, but it all loaded right away. Look, there's a boat over there. Or something. Yeah, I think it's a boat. So there you go. And there's like, what, 4 or 5 people now on this server? And they've just been living together on this planet, building ships and stuff.
We're actually 6 people. We're 6 players right now.
6 players. Okay. So sorry about the black screen, guys. And so I'm running around here. And yeah, so you can build towns and stuff like that. And apparently run around and steal people's cars. Like that. Uh-oh. And crashes cars. Okay, I'm going to get away before he kicks me out of the server for stealing his stuff. And I'm just walking around. So this is multiplayer. So you can see you can have a lot of objects in the game at the same time, which is interesting.
We are 7 players at the moment.
Now we're 7 players. Anybody else want to join? Oh, look, here's a monitor, a giant monitor. That's cool. And it shows like I guess what we have stock of, I guess, aluminum or aluminium, carbon, copper. Cool. We've got a little computer here. Hey, is the only way to charge batteries is solar panels, correct?
Yeah, you can charge batteries with solar panels or RTGs.
Wait, what's RTG?
So let's it's a radioisotope thermoelectric
Oh,
generators. It uses uranium to generate power out of the thermoelectric effect. So let's ask the server admin, what is the server load right now?
are you typing that, or you have them right here to talk to?
He just said it, and it's all fine. He just said in the chat, like as I was saying, we're
Oh.
like 7 people. He said, and it's all fine. So Polo Morte, he's the server admin, so he will be able to check the server load.
Okay, we've got planes and stuff over there on the other side. More stuff in the server. These are all player built. So, seems to be running pretty well. Server load is 96%. What is the server cap? Someone's asking. Do you have a server cap?
Well, right now there's a 16-player limit on the server configuration, but we don't have like the hard limit is 100 at the moment.
Okay. Is this a boat that I'm staying on top of? Oh yeah, it is.
It's a submarine.
Oh, it's a submarine?
Yeah.
Okay, and so right now, guys, just again, there aren't enclosed spaces, so water will be inside. How did you get inside there? The back door? Somewhere?
There's a door in the back.
Okay. Should probably hit J so I can stay.
We don't have access to open it.
Open the door, man! Hello? Hello? Inside. Open up the door, please. Wow, you guys are rude. What server is this? I'm gonna ban them. They won't let us in. Okay, there we go. About time, guys. Alright. So, this is our cool submarine we're inside of. And, what are these, gyros? Guess they're gyros, right? What am I at? I'm at 20 frames per second now.
Yeah, these windows. Yeah.
Oh, is it the windows?
Yeah, I think so. Or is it the lighting? How many lights did they put there?
Okay, I'm just gonna tweak settings just for fun.
Server issue, even though the server is actually quite high at the moment. I think it's a new record. It feels like they're trying. Like I see them saying on the Discord once in a while, "Oh, we're at 65% load right now," and like every time they increase a bit, and and now they're at the highest, I think.
Cool. So I'm back at medium graphics, so my frame rate went down again. Let's go back to 4K. I mean, not 4K, the custom graphics. Custom. I just bumped that up.
Select low first, and then you can, if you start from low.
Oh, really? Okay.
The custom will inherit what you had just before.
Oh, okay.
So you put low, and then you put custom, and then you can increase your upscaling.
Okay. Ooh, my frame rate's down to 11, 12. So you think it's a Windows?
Yeah, the windows are quite heavy because they do both refraction and reflection, but you disabled that. What's your frame rate right now?
It is 16.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. What happens if I bump this up to 3? Watch this go crazy. So it went up to 30 frames per second when I bump up your whatever.
Yeah. So it's not a server thing. It's really a purely rendering thing.
So yeah. So
I think there may be like a lot of lights
wow, it looks
somewhere
interesting.
nearby.
So what does that do? You said when it's upscaling, it's kind of like it's lowering the resolution, then upscaling it again, or something like that. Is that what it's doing?
So this render is built on top of DLSS. So we're basically defaulting the renderer to use DLSS fully. And then I've added on top of DLSS, I've added an additional upscaling feature. So yeah, it can help a lot for 4K monitors.
Okay. So yeah, I'm at 24 frames per second, but I'm upscaling to 3. But 2 is like the magic, like best visuals, right? About
Yeah. 1.5, you don't notice it at all, and you still like gain twice the frame rate.
okay.
But if you just lower it to 1080p, then it makes the whole difference. It will just be a lot higher frame rate,
If I lower what to 1080p?
the resolution, the size of your screen.
Oh, the actual, if I actually change my resolution on my screen? Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, only the 40 series or like 3090 and
Well, look at that.
4080, 4090
As soon as
will
I
4K.
transferred back out of the submarine, I'm back up to 50 frames per second. So,
Yeah, I think it's the Windows.
okay. So note to self, less Windows. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is really cool. But I just wanted to show you guys what a multiplayer server looked like. And it looks like Windows instead of pivots might be the thing you have to avoid here if you want some good frame rate. What is that little thing?
Yeah, it's
What
purely
is that?
graphic.
What?
That's a drone. This is drone mode. So if you press F2,
Yeah.
you can do that, and it lets you clip through things.
Oh, I turn into that thing?
Yeah. Well, you don't see yourself as that thing because, but other people can see where you are with that thing. So you see other people in that mode, you're gonna see them like that.
Okay. I want to steal one of
If
these.
you look in a reflection in that mode, you're not gonna see yourself, so that you can actually easily go through things and not like it's not affected by your own shape.
All right, cool. So I'm just driving around here. So this is the DG something FA server. Are you trying to get in?
EGA.
Wait, were you trying to get in? I saw you for a second. You went away. But yeah. So anyways, I think we should wrap this up. Unless you guys have any more questions, let me know right now. But what I want to do is just kind of recap where the game is at right now. So Oliver, if you could say where the game is right now and what are the next steps you're going to in the near future so people know what to expect.
Okay. Yeah. So right now the game is a immersive multiplayer engineering sandbox, and it's a lot of fun to like with these aspects. There is a adventure mode currently that's present in the game where you have to gather resources and craft your way to like the moon if you want to. And there will be the next big feature will be a pressurization system with water culling, so you can actually build enclosed space like submarines, and the water will not get in, and will also let you make like fuel tanks out of compartments, out of sealed compartments, and we will also at that point add a survival mode, which will make your player require oxygen to survive, and your jetpack will also require fuel. And also, your player will not be able to withstand very deep parts of the ocean. There will be just too much pressure, so you will have to build a submarine. And yeah, some yeah, that's pretty much it for that survival that's coming. And then after that, we're planning on a advanced mechanical systems where you can separately build motors and wheels, and you're gonna have larger wheels as well, gearboxes, transfer case, all these things. Uh, Maybe not combustion engines. We'll see about that, but most likely the mods will take care of that part. Um, and also we will add more planets like Mars, Venus, and then the gas giants and Saturn with the rings, and make the sun actually like the sun look like the sun. If you get close to the sun, you'll have like all these plasma, you're gonna have eruptions, solar eruptions, things like that. So we want to do that, and we want to have an advanced nuclear technology in the game so that the players can actually build a very advanced power generation facility. They design their own way. They're gonna have to the complexity will be quite high with that for players. So we have great plans for nuclear, and it's also how you're going to be traveling through space faster and ending up with a warp drive. And then we will be adding some antimatter technology to bring it even further.
Okay, cool. And the best way to make suggestions and ask questions or whatever is the Discord.
Yeah, yeah, we're very active on Discord. So it is really the best place. You have issues, bugs, or suggestions, or just want to interact with the community, play together. The Discord is the best place.
Okay, it looks like we have a few more questions. So Thales is asking, how does the plane wing made of blocks generate lift? Does it need angle of attack?
So the
Okay.
yeah, yes, yeah, the physics engine will analyze the shape of the vehicles that you build, and it will basically trace the air molecules in real time. Of course, it's not tracing every single air molecule. We're not simulating like a fluid dynamic kind of thing with precise air molecules, but we're approximating air molecules hitting the surfaces and bouncing off. Transferring energy, momentum to the vehicles. So it's a very precise, very realistic aerodynamic simulation based on the shape that people build their vehicles. So if you build like a large wing, you can have a large lift area, like large lift surface under the wings. And yeah, so aerodynamics are fully simulated. And of course, if you go out like very high up in the atmosphere, you're going to have less air density, and that's going to affect that as well. So you're going to lose the lift and control surfaces efficiency as you go up.
Okay. Electromagnetic forces or magnet? Are there any of that, I guess?
If there's a use for it, most likely there will be with the advanced nuclear technologies. So at some point, yes.
Okay. Buoyancy based on displacement? I mean the open top
Yes.
vessels. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we'll try to figure something out with that for because it is a difficulty to do buoyancy with like taking into account the enclosed space on top of the vehicle without it being sealed. That is a difficulty, but I believe we'll manage to get that working right. It's in the plans. So yeah, right now the buoyancy is simulated for like basically with the mass and the volume of each object on a vehicle. So it's properly simulated, and as you build bigger, it will approximate a bit to accommodate for performance. So you can build very big things.
Okay, cool. So I think that's it. If you have any more questions, I invite you to go to the Discord. And like you said, they're active there. And I think if Oliver wants to, if every time they release something, we can go ahead and do some more live things and showcase them so that you guys can ask questions and request features, which is always fun. But yeah, thanks, Oliver, for joining me.
Well, thanks a lot for your time and everyone watching. That was fun.
All right, very cool. So that is it for today. Thanks for joining me. And I guess we'll see you, Oliver, on the next update, which is coming. When is the next update coming, actually?
Maybe tonight or tomorrow.
No. I mean, pressure update.
Ah, pressure, the big update. I'm talking about the game. I thought you said the game update.
Now you do
Well, the
updates all the time.
pressure, and we're not gonna say any date, any specific date. We don't do that. So
Okay.
it will come when it will be finished and,
I mean,
and considered ready.
can you like aim high? Like, what is the highest value time period you could wait? Probably like 6 months.
Highest possible value?
6 months.
1,000 years.
No,
I guess that could be
come on. Give us a hint. 6 months maximum. 5 months maximum.
We're not saying any time value, but we are working quite fast. According to people who compare with other developers, like they're telling us that we're a lot faster to add features. So just go with that.
All right. Okay. So 3 months.
We're not gonna say anything.
All right. I'll stop bugging. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here. Thanks for joining me. Remember to use the links below to check out the game on Steam. If you want to support the developer while it's in early access, you can do that. It seems like he is making updates daily, almost daily, if not almost daily. And he's listening to feedback. When he can't do something, he says he can't do something, or he'll put it on the to-do list for the far-off future. But he is listening, so this is your chance, guys. If you're interested in a building game that's different from Stormworks, that's different from Space Engineers and Trailmakers and Brick Rigs, this might be a game that you'll enjoy because it's based around multiplayer and hanging out with your friends, and as you saw, building on a planet and possibly going to the moon. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, but go check it out. And I'll see you next time. Say bye, Oliver.
Bye.
And